Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Monkey in the Morning. I am your host, the Ranting Monkey, and hope you've had a better few days than I have. Hope you're having a great, what is this, Thursday? Hope you're having a great Thursday. Hope the world has been kind to you, kinder than the Democrats were to President Trump last night. Oh, dear God. Did you guys watch any of this impeachment shit? Oh, my God. What a shit show. What a shit show from start to finish. There was the rule stuff earlier in the day, but I got to start watching it. Drug my sickly ass out of bed and got to watch as the impeachment stuff was happening on the floor, the actual impeachment debate, as though there was actually a debate here. And it started with Nancy Pelosi. Am I the only one that noticed she kept licking her teeth a lot? Like she was a donkey that they'd put some peanut butter on her teeth to make her lick it so it looked like she was talking. Thank you, John Migda, for the thumbs up. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for the donation, sir. Yeah, good time to remind you, I guess, at the beginning of the show, I'm brought to you by you. Oh, man. I suppose I should get into that real fast. Guys, I have some kind of cold. I don't know how long I'm going to be able to do the show today. It just hurts holding my body up right now. Most of the bad stuff is past. I got severely dehydrated last night. And I'm finally coming out of that, but I still feel like somebody's kicked the shit out of me. So I hopefully we'll make it the 2 hours we're supposed to. But if you watched Lords of the Night last night, I tried to be on there, guys. I tried. I hate missing a show. I really do. And thank you to everybody who reached out to me. Several of you like, it just doesn't seem right to have a day without Monkey. You people are fucking amazing, and I love you. So back to old donkey tongue, lip, whatever it is. It just seemed weird. Somebody said her dentures were acting up. It was just weird. It was weird how often she kept stopping to lick those lips. Like, ha ha, stop it, you weird old lady. Let somebody else talk. But she gets up there and talks to us. Oh, thank you, and Holy Reaper, who says, "Holy shit, Monkey's alive." I'm trying to be. I am trying to be. She gets up there and talks to us about the Pledge of Allegiance. She talked to us about the Pledge of Allegiance, you guys. I wonder how many people are going to get mad at her for invoking the pledge because it says one nation under all. Did I really say that? One nation under God. She never quite got to that part. She just kept to the Republic. She actually pointed to she brought a visual aid with her to talk about the fucking Pledge of Allegiance. She had to have a big reminder board to the Republic for which we stand. I wonder how often she thinks about to the Republic anytime she's wanting to take more federal power. Yeah, so she gets up there and tells us that we need to impeach Donald Trump because of the Pledge of Allegiance. Apparently something to the Republic, impeach Donald Trump. I tried paying attention. Seriously, I did. You'd think after the 3 months and them all passing around the same notes, they could have gotten a cohesive discussion together about why it was a good idea to impeach Donald Trump. And they just didn't seem to have one. They just didn't seem to have a good reason. Other than we don't like what he did. The two articles of impeachment that have passed. Real quick, Ebony, thank you so much. Wrap yourself in a blanket, you stubborn middle-aged man. Take care. Thank you so much. I actually can't right now. I was under blankets. See, I don't want to talk too much about myself, but most of the last 48 hours. And I finally started sweating, which I hope means fever broke. But yeah, I'm hot right now, so no. Don't worry, it's warm in this room. It's like 77 degrees in here, so I'm not freezing or anything. I'm okay. Where were we? So I watched a whole bunch of these. I didn't watch all day. I watched maybe an hour. I don't know. You could probably tell by my tweets earlier. Hang on. Because I told you guys when I was going back to bed, and I'm trying to remember what time it was. I'd watched an hour or so, and it's like, no, no, this is painful as shit. I'm going to bed. And then I woke up and I got to catch the last probably 45 minutes before the vote. And it was funny. It was like I didn't miss anything. The only thing that I missed is wherever Nadler and what's his name? Schiff. They switched places because Nadler had been the one giving out time for the Democrats. And somewhere along the line, Shiffy Poo took over. The beginning was kind of fun in that each side would get up there and make their case, and then the one presenting for the other would do a little sniping at the person who just talked. Be like, that guy's an asshole. They didn't say that, but they, that guy's an asshole. And it was cool, but by the end of the night, they were just like, fuck it. We're just going to give this person some, just enter your notes into the fucking record. We're all tired. We want to go to Burger King. So they finally did that. They get them all done, and they worked their way all the way up to the leaders of the party. And the one thing, the Republican, what the hell's his name? I forget. He's the leader of the Republicans in the House. That dude was wearing a very flashy suit. He kind of looked like a pimp. A little pimpy suit there. It's what happens when you've been in Congress long enough that you work your way up to the top. You have some money on hand, and you can go out there and buy yourself a nice silk suit. Oh, man, that's where I was at this point. I was just looking at what they were wearing, what they look like. This was a waste of time. I mean, they should have just went from the beginning like, yeah, let's just vote right off. Everybody knew how they were voting. Nobody listened to each other during this part. Nobody actually paid any attention to what was being said or done. It was just like, I'm going to vote, and I want to tell you why you guys are a bunch of assholes and I hate Donald Trump, or why you guys are a bunch of assholes and I'm supporting Donald Trump. And I do say a difference there, why I hate Donald Trump versus I'm supporting Donald Trump. Because there are Republicans who don't like Donald Trump. Part of what they're doing here, yes, is standing with their party, and two, but they're also going, you're not doing this to our president. And it is sad to me that more Democrats didn't switch. There were two. On Article 1 was the abuse of power. 2 Democrats voted nay. And on Article 2, obstruction of Congress, 3 Democrats voted nay. So there were a couple of them there in seats. They're like, if I vote wrong, I'm going to get kicked out, so I better not do that. So they voted their conscience, is what do we say? I voted my conscience. Nah, you voted what you think is going to get you elected here in 2020. Remember, all of these shitheads you saw today, every one of them is running for office again in 2020 because the House runs every 2 years. Nico, we'll get to Tulsi in a minute. And I'm probably going to piss off some people with my views on that because there's well, fuck it, let's do it now. Tulsi Gabbard voted present for both. She voted present for both, and it was a very cowardly vote. Very cowardly vote. Miss Gabbard, you ran for this office. This is part of your job. And if she had said, I voted present because I wasn't sure, I could give her that. I didn't know whether or not this amounted to an impeachable offense. Okay, fine. Any kind of I'm not sure would have been fine for me. Instead, what she said was she thinks what he did was wrong, but she doesn't believe that impeachment should be a strictly partisan thing as this was. So rather than vote yes or no, she voted present. Well, if you don't think that the impeachment should be partisan, and you admit that it is partisan to a fault, well, then your answer is no. But she's running for president as a Democrat, y'all. And she can't vote no as a Democrat running for president. She already doesn't get any fucking coverage. You think they're going to let her on the debate stage in February if she manages to get up on that one? If she votes not to impeach Trump? Massive's very mad at me over on Twitter. Massive, Forgive me for a moment. I've never abstained from my vote. If you actually pay attention to what I said, you'll hear every time I have voted for people. You might not like who I vote for, but I do vote. Tulsi didn't abstain. She didn't stay out of it completely. She cast a vote, a meaningless, cowardly one. I'm an American, and therefore I get the right to vote. She's a congresswoman. This is her duty to vote. You see the difference there? She actually ran for a job, which, whether she likes it or not, this becomes a thing. And yes, she has the option of voting present. And yes, what she did here, because she was too goddamn afraid to either say yes, she votes to impeach him, or no, she doesn't, was cowardly as fuck. And the funny part of it is that she actually did it as though she was standing up there like a hero. I'm a hero. I've always stood up and done what's right. Well, do what's right. Make a call. Make a call. Because here's the truth of the matter. Voting present is voting no. You see, when it comes to articles of impeachment, it's a yes or no vote. But it takes a certain number of yeses to make it pass. If they don't hit that 216 it needed to pass, it doesn't pass. So if 100 Democrats voted present, it wouldn't have passed. Those are effectively no votes. See, no matter who I voted for, Donald Trump or Hillary Clinton was going to win this election. But that didn't mean I was voting for nobody, which is what she tried pulling here. This was her saying, look how much better I am than all of you. I think what he did is horribly wrong. That's why I put censure forward. I just don't think that the process should be so partisan. So I can't vote for. If you can't vote for impeachment, then the answer is no, you fucking cowardly bitch. What she's really saying is, I really, really like that Fox News still pays attention to me, and I don't want them to stop that. Because if she'd voted yes, that's what would have happened. And if she voted no, yeah, they'd have just drummed her right off the ticket. It was a very cowardly choice. Not voting is like voting for who won. No. I mean, you're welcome to that opinion. I think you're wrong. I think you're upset that I insulted Tulsi instead of actually thinking about it in any kind of meaningful way. But hey, who's better than us? Are we talking about Anna Kasparian again? No. I did see Anna. She tweeted out, he's been impeached. It's happened, or some silly shit like that right after the vote. Did you guys get to see when Nancy Pelosi mom-faced Congress? It had come out earlier in the day that Nancy Pelosi had met with the Democrats, met with them and told them, hey, there won't be any celebrating. And I couldn't verify that anywhere. It was just news reports. It's not like, as far as I saw, Nancy actually came out and given a public statement that way, because she wouldn't. But when you see, oh, Charlie, thank you so much. Hope you're feeling better. If not, I hope this can buy you some relief and rest. When I didn't see you on as much as you usually are, I almost had a panic attack. Phew, it was a close one. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that. That is very, very kind of you. I'm feeling much better. Not being dehydrated is a wonderful thing. But so that is very kind. I couldn't find anything where Nancy actually, said that. But as the first impeachment vote is read out, the results, this happened.
The yeas are 230. The nays are 197. Present is 1. Article 1 is adopted.
See that little mom face she got because a couple of them started clapping? No, you don't, motherfuckers. Hey, this is solemn. Remember? We told everybody this is solemn, that we actually care, that this is not just, that this isn't something we're celebrating. But then a couple of them, hey, don't you, hey, you little fuckers, you're gonna get yourself in trouble. That shit, man. Yeah, God. And then Pat, I think it was Pat. Yeah, Talib. She's the one. There's a video of her going around where she's. I wonder if I have that close. Let me see. I don't know if I. Oh, you know who did retweet it? I know Satsu did. Let me get over to his. All right, let me bring this one up. You guys got to see how solemn she is, and how serious a moment this is.
Everyone, I am on my way to the United States House floor to impeach President Trump.
Look how sad she is, you guys. This is an important moment for her. They don't want to do this. This isn't something that they've actually been talking about literally since before he was elected president. See, I keep bringing that because a lot of people, ever since he was elected. No. It goes back before that. It goes back at least to July of 2016. And I was so happy. I don't remember the chick's name, and like I could remember anyway. But one of the first people to get up there and present the case for the Democrats actually brings up where Donald Trump asked the Russians to look into Hillary's missing emails. And that's important because that happened before Trump was even elected. That happened in July of 2016. And immediately there, Democrats starting on, he needs to be impeached if he wins, he needs to be impeached. Look at he's asking the Russians to help in our election. Actually, he made a fucking joke. Yeah, so because it had come out that the Russians may have been the ones who hacked the Democrat server, and it came out, yes, it was them. But hacked my ass, fished, I guess. But he was making a joke. Hey, you guys seem to be able to get inside there. Can you find Hillary's fucking emails? And it was a joke. But Democrats, not understanding what a joke is, they're all like, he's asking for them to fix the election for him. It was such nonsense, such fucking nonsense. And that was brought up today. In one of the first people speaking, they bring up this shit from him making a joke during a campaign speech. But hey, Trump, he was trying to get the Russians to do his dirty work, yo. It was amazing how many times the notion of Russian collusion kept coming up. They kept dancing up to it, and very few of them would actually cross that line. But yeah, Russian collusion. He did all the. No, you guys you've blown it repeatedly trying to get this guy. Repeatedly, just shot yourselves in the foot over and over again. The DNC servers were compromised by Seth Rich and they murdered him for it. Disavow. YouTube, I'm not allowed to have conspiracy theories on my channel, so I got to disavow that, Greg. Yeah, that was Talib celebrating. It was Tulsi who voted president. Oh, is there some? Yeah, that was Talib in the video show. I thought I'd made that clear. I'm sorry if anybody got the idea that was Gabbard. No, Gabbard that I know of, she didn't release a video statement. She released a written statement that I saw where she explained I'm not voting either way because I'm a pussy. I love the idea that this was any kind of that's what I'm looking for here. That it wasn't a foregone conclusion. That I get it that this is how things have to happen. They have to have their little show because that's what we do in the House. They have to get their rules done. It's parliamentary procedure, parliamentarian. I don't know how you say that word properly if you're using it in that context. Is it parliamentary or parliamentarian? Whichever. But it's their procedures. So we had to go through the dog and pony show. And of course, everybody wanted to get their moment in the sun so they can take it back and show it in campaign commercials in their district. And some of them tried real hard. There were actually this one, which fucker was it? God, I can't remember his name. But motherfucker actually invoked slavery and suffrage and Jim Crow and was using it to show why we need to impeach Donald Trump. And like, huh? I don't think even you know what you mean. So the Republicans kept doing something that annoyed me as well. They kept bringing 63 million people voted for Donald Trump. It doesn't matter how many voted for him. He's a duly elected leader. And do you want to undo it wouldn't matter if they were trying to undo the votes of 20 million or 10 million or 1 million. This is a sham what happened here. An absolute disgrace to our country what happened here. As they brought up repeatedly, the Republicans brought up repeatedly, this, especially the obstruction of Congress nonsense. Yeah, they'll be able to impeach any fucking president they want to from here on in, because it's just normal for the executive branch to not give in to Congress when they want to do oversight. And usually it goes to the courts, or at least they take it to the courts, and then the administration will be, all right, fuck it, we'll give you what you want. And I was really hoping that this would go to the courts, because we've seen this happen so many times. Yeah, let the courts set precedent for it. The only other time we really have precedent for it in a meaningful way was with Watergate. Otherwise, it's usually like, it's not that much. You sound chipper. May I hope that is for reals. Prospero, we'll see how I sound as I go on. It hurts to hold my body up, so I will probably slowly start to sound like a record is dying. But we'll see what happens. Why didn't Schiff allow House Republicans to subpoena any witnesses? Doctor, no, that's because they believe in a fair and open process. Nancy Pelosi actually told us that. I don't know if you guys got to see the end. Several people have brought it up in chat so far where she's not sure how fast she'll send the articles of impeachment over to the Senate. Well, during that little press conference where her and Nadler and Schiffy Boy spoke, and it is amazing that Nadler looks like he's sitting down. He's such a short little midget piece of shit. But she tells us, we had a fair and open process here. They need to have one in the Senate as well. And this idea has been floating around that the House is going to hold impeachment articles until the Senate gives them their way. Until the Senate says, yes, you guys can call whatever witnesses you want to. Which isn't how it works, Nancy. You guys did your part. You send it over. That's your job. Now, maybe they don't have to. They could sit on it indefinitely if they wanted to. But I just loved her part. Fair and open. In the Judiciary Committee, the last one that we heard from, what did we hear? 3 days worth of testimony stuff. One of those days being nothing but constitutional experts from Ivy League universities, 3 of which absolutely hate Donald Trump, them personally, not the Ivy League university, get up there and tell us, yes, this is an impeachable offense. They didn't call any actual witnesses, but during that thing, during the procedures, the Republicans were supposed to get a full day of witnesses of their own, witnesses they got to call. That never happened. Never happened. And at the beginning of each of these sessions, Doug Collins brought it up to Jerry Nadler. Look, we've asked for this. When do we get it? And he's, my office will get back to you. My office will get back to you. They never did it. In their open and fair impeachment inquiry. It's just funny. Doug Collins, there's a moment because the Senate was talking about this at the same time. early on in the day. And Chucky Boy Schumer was whining because the Democrats, they're not going to call their witnesses, and they really they don't have much say in how things are done. And Doug Collins goes, how do you like it? Welcome to the party. Welcome to the party. How do you like it? That's what we've been dealing with here the whole time. And it was a great moment. And it's going to be funny to watch the press. Watch the press as this goes into the Senate. Because they haven't given much of a fuck at all about how the Democrats have been fucking over the Republicans this whole time. Not even a little bit. But watch when it gets into the Senate. Watch how much that becomes a big talking point in the media. Like, oh, they won't let them call people. They won't let them call witnesses. James Colley, thank you so much. He says, invoking slavery and Jim Crow, you think Trump was like, nigga, please? Probably. When he got up there and started talking about slavery and suffrage, I'm like, the fuck are you talking about, dude? And again, guys, I wish I could remember his name. It's within the first hour of argument this morning, so you'd have to go back and find it. Dr. No asked, Monkey, thoughts on Tulsi voting president? I think it was a very cowardly thing to do. I think she did it because she's worried more about her presidential campaign than she is on taking one of those big stands she likes to think she's taking all the time. So Congress, technically, Sam, it's the House. So the House is attempting to dictate to the Senate. How is that short of forming a hostile governing body within the system? It does need to be noted that Nancy Pelosi did not bring this up during the question or during the announcement, I guess. Was it an announcement, just a press conference following the impeachment? She didn't bring it up. A reporter asked about it because this, like I said, this has been going around in the press for a week or so. And so somebody asked her about it. I believe it was somebody from CNN that asked her about it. And then she gets really pissy later on. I didn't bring this up. You guys brought this up. I don't know why I made her sound like that. But she wasn't the one who brought it up, but she was asked about it. And she refused to rule out holding this over the Senate, even to the point of holding on to the impeachment indefinitely. Nancy, it's a pretty easy answer. We've made our case. We're going to send it over there. There you go. You made your case. Dr. No says there's 2 Democrats who voted no. Oh, there was 2 who voted no on 1 and 3 on 2. So somebody didn't think contempt of Congress was worth voting for, which honestly I expected to see more of them do that, because even if you believe the abuse of power one, that contempt of Congress one is just bullshit. And Nadler, he said it again. This little fucker said it again. We can't wait until we've been through another election. Well, 1, nobody said you have to wait that long, and 2, all you're really arguing about is how long it's going to take. That's your problem there. How long is it going to take? And why is that a problem? Well, because the election's coming up next year. By this time next year, we will know who our president for the 4 years following will be. By this time next year, we'll either have a new Democratic president or Trump again for another 4 years, because they're not kicking Trump out, guys. They're not. Were you thinking of Al Green? Seriously, it sounds like dangerous. You could throw names at me all day. I'm not going to know the name. I was fucking out of it as I was watching this stuff. The fact that I remember any of it is impressive to me. I don't know about to you guys, but it's impressive to me. I didn't pay much attention to who was talking or what their names were. There's a few of them I know, like Ted Lieu. Ted Lieu actually got this shitbag. This shitbag actually gets up there and tells us exactly what they're doing. Look, even if we don't get him kicked out, at least we'll be able to hang this around his neck. I'm paraphrasing, but only very, very slightly. Very, very slightly. He actually gets up there and says that. It's like, look, even if we can't get rid of his ass, at least we can hang this around his neck and it'll be with him even if he runs for re-election. And again, guys, I wish I had the direct quote here or I had it pulled up so I could show you it's exactly what this shitbag says. But it's what he says. He actually fucking says this on the House floor. This isn't about doing right. This is about punishing Trump and trying to hang this over his head for the coming election. That's all it's about. It's all it's ever been about. But hey, this is a solemn affair. It's very solemn. They're not very happy they have to do it. It is a matter of look, guys. President, they even said this. President, we're not impeaching Trump. Trump impeached himself. Like, I don't think that's how it works, sweetheart. I really don't think that's how it works. Are you surprised? At least 3 of them said it. If we don't impeach, you will win re-election. They've been saying, oh, no, I'm not. Okay. Dangerous. This was their final pitch. This was their final play. And if you don't think that there wasn't some severe, some really desperate conferences. I'm not even sure how to put it, but there was a lot of stuff behind the scenes. Why do you think Nancy Pelosi gave that face? When they started clapping, they gave that face. And those little kids shut up immediately. They knew mom was going to punish them. They got together and there were talking points they were supposed to use. And I guarantee you in those, some of them were, don't make this sound like we're just doing this for politics. Don't make it sound like that. Because that's what the Republicans are going to say we're doing. Because it is what they were doing. But to see some of them go up there and still cross that line, especially Lou, who he's usually he's not a troublemaker, you guys. He's not. Ted Lieu is one of those people. He desperately wants to be in the squad, but he doesn't have the balls or vagina for it. He does what he's told. And he got up there and we're going to hang it around his neck, you guys. Well, he's going to wear it around his neck like a fucking prize. You guys just destroyed the presidency. Do you realize that? You didn't do this because you actually thought he broke a law. That's the funny part. You kept invoking high crimes and misdemeanors, but apparently you forget that crimes and misdemeanors are both crimes. By the way, crime, misdemeanor. And that you didn't actually name any. Not a fucking one. Democrats lost the House tonight. That's basically what happened. We'll see. I'm not necessarily convinced of that either. We'll have to see what the fallout looks like over the next week or so to see what the hang on a second. I'm getting messages over here on the side. And it threw me out of my I was on a tangent there and it fucked me all up. Botox Nancy is stupid, but not completely stupid to recognize the appearance this creates. Well, that's the part I was just mentioning. We're going to have to see what happens over the next week or so. I think, we're going into Christmas, so it's going to die down. And we've talked about this before. The Democrats originally, they wanted to have this done by Halloween. That was their stated goal. We'll have this done by Halloween. Which at the latest, that would mean the vote itself, that was the investigation. The vote itself then, would have been mid-November. And as that became apparent that it wasn't going to happen, I don't think them rushing to this date was on accident. I don't think rushing to this date was on accident because this puts it, we go into Christmas and it falls out of the press for a little while. For just a little while. This is my best guess of why they would do this because they go to their Christmas holiday and then it comes back and it's got to go over to the Senate. If Nancy decides, look, hey, we're going to try to play hardball with the Senate over this, that could blow up in her face. But we got to see what the polls look like after tonight. The Democrats did an okay job. Well, some of them. Let me not the ones talking about slavery and suffrage and the the fucking Pledge of Allegiance. But some of the other ones did a good job of making their case as best they can, because it's not a very good case. Not a very good case. Oh, Bert, I wasn't off because of the stair thing. The stair thing was probably actually I fell the other day on the stairs, guys, and that was the last anybody really heard of me. I went upstairs and made myself breakfast, and I was going to do a second stream that day. And I told Lady Monkey as I was going downstairs, I'm like, I'm not doing anything else. I'm on the way to bed. And on my way down the stairs, I just slipped a little bit, and my arm hit the banister real fucking hard. But that wasn't why I was off. I was off because I was sick. I've been in bed. Hi, Prospero.
Hello, love. How are you?
Oh, I'm
other than got the man flu.
I'm wonderful.
This
is one of those times I knew I was bad, because Lady Monkey, she came to check on me the first time, and she expects me not to feel well from time to time, because of this. And she looks at me, she goes, "Oh my God, are you okay?" Like, oh God, I must look like death. I must look like fucking death. But she's been taking very good care of me, feeding me and keeping me as hydrated as she could.
You sounded like absolute ass earlier in Lords of the Night. I mean, you were just like,
I was bad. I tried.
I know you did. And I knew that when you missed last night, you had to feel horrible because you hate missing obligations. So
I never miss Lords of the Night. Ever. I think I even was on Lords of the Night with the actual flu.
Yuck.
Yeah. I do not miss that show, and it killed me last night to miss it. Even when I have started to miss it, like, fuck it, I'm going to jump on anyway.
But your voice was beginning to bug you last week, like you might be coming down with something.
That could explain it, because I do talk so much that it was weird for my voice to be doing that to me.
Yes. And you were kind of like, I kind of need a rest. You were kind of beginning to sound like your energy level was slipping. Like you went out shopping among the hoi polloi and they polluted you.
Yeah, they got me. This is why you don't go outside, people. There's bugs out there.
That and you do have festering swamps of disease known as grandchildren.
That is true. Well, they're not as bad yet because they don't go out into public and stuff. They're not in school kind of thing. So yet.
May I?
Oh my God!
Buy some airborne stock, bro. Because when little bud goes to school, you're fucked.
Lady Monkey comes in last night and she goes, "I made lasagna for dinner. Do you want some?" I'm like,
Oh.
And she goes, "The kids are here." I was like, my pumpkin's upstairs, and she goes, "Yeah." I'm like, "Oh fuck." I'm like, "I can't come see her," and she goes, "Well, that's because I don't want to make her sick, but she's on antibiotics because she has an ear infection." She goes, "You might be able to see her. She's on antibiotics, so it should be fine, no matter whatever this shit is you have." I'm like, "Yeah, I don't know if I can even make it up there." So I'm sitting down here watching this stupid impeachment stuff, and I hear her upstairs. I'm like, I've got to go see her. And so I crawl my way up the stairs, and as I'm about halfway up, I hear Lady Monkey go, "Oh, who is that?" And I get just to where I can see over the banister, and she's looking at me, and she just starts waving and making this sound I've never heard before, this really happy sound.
Oh,
I was like, "Oh my gosh, can I buy you a car?"
Can you bottle that? That's grandpa medicine there.
She came over. I just went and laid on I went over and I kissed her on the top of the head, and then I just laid on the couch, and she refused to eat anymore. So they get her down and let her, and she comes running over to me, and I pick her up real quick and I set her on my belly, which, by the way, bad idea because my whole body hurts.
Oh.
But then she leaned into me and gave me a hug, and then she would run out of the room and grab something and run back in, show it to me and scream, and then run back and get something else. Oh, unfortunately, I had to come lay back down. And so I have to go downstairs. And she sees me and she just starts tearing up because she knows I'm going downstairs.
Oh.
And all the grown-ups are like, go down, she will be fine. I'm like, but she looks so sad. And if I was even feeling an inch better, I'd have stayed up there. But it did my heart good. I'm not gonna lie. She got so happy to see me.
Yeah. How wonderful. Especially when you already, I mean, you feel like ass, so you've got like a little reprieve of feeling like total ass, and then crawl back downstairs.
Nobody is ever as happy to see me as my grandchildren are. I'm like a party to them. Like, Grandpa's here.
Well, I don't think you know the word no, do you? See?
Not for them. That's not true. Occasionally I will say no, but I immediately misdirect. So they don't notice the no so harshly.
Yes. And it also probably is like, no, don't stick your head in the oven. No, don't crawl into the chimney. You know?
If it's something that'll hurt him. Now I have to, Little Butt she's been throwing things and I don't mind if she throws stuff, but Lady Monkey's like, she can't be throwing stuff. I'm like, fine. Fine. I don't care I don't give a fuck if she breaks something. We get new it. We have more.
Yes.
We have a whole house full of shit. Anyway.
It's like, please break it so we don't have to dust it.
Yeah, no shit. She's like, she threw something and almost hit my glass. I'm like, we have a whole fucking cupboard.
Yeah, but if she starts doing that.
Don't take their side.
I'm sorry, but.
Don't take her side.
You don't want her to have to go to kitty jail, do you?
No.
You don't want to see Little Butt in an orange jumpsuit sitting there looking all sad. I didn't mean to throw the rock at her head and kill her, Grandpa. I really didn't.
Parker Hicks says, came looking for live reactions to the impeachment, so thanks for the stream. But you have grandchildren? You sound like 30-year-old dude. LOL. I'm 44, actually. I became a grandpa when I was 40. And I have 3 grandchildren. We'll get back to the impeachment stuff. Actually, that's one of the reasons I brought Prospero on. Specifically for that. But we had to take this grandchild interlude for just a moment because I haven't talked about them in a little bit.
This was brain candy because today was so much.
Oh God, it was
so much bad.
I have reluctantly started just Little Butt gets herself in trouble. And I watch it because I used to be the same way as a child. She can't help herself. And so I have to sit back and let mom punish, you know. It's like, don't make her upset. She can do whatever she wants to, damn it. But no, because I don't want my granddaughter to end up in jail someday. I understand that, punishment is a thing, that she has to learn right from wrong. Blah, blah, blah. Anyhow. So I was talking about impeachment, Prospero.
Mm-hmm.
We all knew this was going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
We knew this was going to happen as soon as Nancy announced the formal impeachment inquiry. Anybody who's like, no, that wasn't a foregone conclusion is either drunk or a liar.
Yeah, and we knew it was going to be a shit show of a circus, which it was.
I hope they send the articles over quickly. I don't know what the Democrats, because Prospero, you were listening, so you know where I was, I think. We were just talking about how
Nancy,
there's this notion that they may not send the articles of impeachment over immediately.
Yes, because she's trying to aid Schumer et al. Into crafting the rules of the impeachment, even though they're the minority party.
Which they don't get that choice.
I know. But Mitch can sit on this. If she wants to play hardball, she's playing right into Trump's hands.
Well, the weird part is the one article I saw about this, they're like, this also gives time for the different things working through the court to go through the court. So maybe they can get more documents. I'm like, that's what they should have done before the vote.
Yes.
This is what's his name? That one professor?
Turley.
This is what he was talking about. There's no reason to rush it. Wait, go get those documents you want. Go get those subpoenas and make those people testify.
Well, particularly since he said, by rushing this, you are now presently guilty of what you were accusing the president.
Exactly.
And they are. And that's what makes these particular articles that they voted on so hilarious because it was pot, meat, kettle.
Well, let's explain that a little bit, because what he was talking about there is that they were the idea that he was, because they hadn't written up the formal impeachment document yet, the actual articles. But at that time, they were talking about obstruction of justice, which, by the way, they didn't put into the actual articles.
No, they called it obstruction of Congress, which is interesting.
And what he was saying is that you guys are saying he's pretending he's above the law. Well, what you need to do is go to court to show that, or to get this settled, because they're the court is the third branch. The judiciary is the third branch of government.
Yes, and according to separation of powers,
they like to talk about we have oversight. It's co-equal branches, yeah, but there's that third branch that you guys were trying to keep out entirely.
Yeah, because they were afraid their stuff wasn't going to be granted, because what shifted with FISA was to go to them and lie.
Oh yeah,
which is interesting, because that's perjury. Technically.
The single most important fact about the Trump presidency, he was impeached. This is the single most important day in the Trump presidency. He was impeached. Quote of MSNBC right now. I'm not shocked by that.
Oh, yeah, that's the party line.
Which is funny, because we're not that far away from Clinton. A lot of people may not remember. I wasn't. When was Nixon drummed out? That was 74.
He resigned in 74. He was going to be impeached.
Right.
And Barry Goldwater and a few other people went to him and said, and the Senate will find you guilty. Get out.
Yeah, this was right after he lost his court cases, and the tapes that they were seeking actually came out. Anyway, my point being, most of us, or at least a lot of us, were not alive during that. I was born a year later.
I watched not every moment of the impeachment hearings, or not the impeachment hearings, but the Watergate hearings. So I was even watching the day they talked about the tapes.
We're not that far removed from Clinton.
No.
How often, unless you're actually talking about impeachment, how often do you hear impeachment brought up with Clinton?
Not very.
No, because that's not what defined him. Because one, look, he actually committed a crime.
Yes, he did.
A fucking crime.
And he was disbarred for it.
Yes, he was. He lost his law license afterwards. But the whole notion of it that this is all anybody's going to think about. You hope so, because right now he has the lowest unemployment in fucking generations.
Technically, by most economist standards, we're at full employment.
Yeah.
3.5% is just negligible, oddly enough.
This is something else. I do think the Republicans, they handled very wrong today, because they did keep bringing that up. Like, he has this great employment, but they didn't tie it directly the way they should have. They should have been saying, you guys just want to do this to him because of things like this. And instead they're like, he's got this, as though just having that is enough. Just if he had done something wrong, if they could find an actual crime worthy of impeachment, I don't care how good the economy is, that you get him out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, if he'd lied to a federally impaneled grand jury, that would be worthy.
Now, and in that case, in the Clinton case, I think that was handled perfectly, believe it or not. I think he deserved to be impeached and not removed for that. So I think that was right. But in this case, they have no crime. Literally, their crime is he was asking a foreign government to look into corruption in his country.
And even if there had been a quid pro quo is not a crime.
No, it's
That's how business is done pretty much all over the world.
That's why they went for bribery so hard, and then never mentioned it in the impeachment.
Well, there's no proof of bribery, because bribery is, if you don't do this, I will do. It's extortion.
Yeah,
and there was no extortion. Trump didn't say he wasn't going to recognize the new president and parliament of Ukraine. It's just Jesus.
It was a shit show from the beginning, and we knew it was. Now, the telling part of all of this, for me at least, and I'm curious of your thoughts on this. Nancy Pelosi didn't want to do impeachment. We heard that so much. She doesn't want to do impeachment. She doesn't want to do impeachment. And for many of us, and myself included, we're like, yeah, Nancy's too smart for this. She knows better.
Mm-hmm.
And then this phone call comes out.
Yeah.
It comes out in the news on like a Friday.
And she bites for this one.
And on Monday, before there's any actual evidence given to her that we know of, she announces the formal impeachment. I'm like, wait. That's weird. But the timing also coincides with the fact they knew at that point there was nothing from Mueller. Nothing.
Right.
They'd lost everything on it.
Yep.
So I don't know that Nancy was all that against impeachment this whole time as she was. She didn't think that Mueller was enough ever, that she was smart enough to recognize that from the beginning.
I'd be curious to know, though, over that weekend, whether there was, and we'll never know because the press is in the bag for the Democrat Party right now. And the machinations of threatening her speakership that could have been going on amongst the Shift and Jerry Zipper and that crowd, because she just didn't have the squad anymore that were becoming fractious. She had a larger group of people who actually have some power within the party. As loathsome as it is to acknowledge Schiff wields power.
He does.
And
And
so does
apparently
Nadler.
a lot.
Yeah, because how he was able to concoct that FISA bullshit is, well, that's what you get when you have a star chamber, okay?
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's with the FISA court goes back to the 1970s. The abuses of it have been compounded exponentially over the last decade.
Raman says, I'm hoping for somebody to lose their seats like the Trump Thanos meme. Oh, some will. That's what I was talking about just a little bit ago. When it comes to how this is going to impact them. Sorry, I keep going from freezing to burning up. And right now I'm burning up. So I had to open my window. The polls over the next few days are going to be very interesting. We'll have an immediate poll. They do that after all of this kind of shit. We'll have an immediate poll to see what people think. But over the last week, sentiment has been moving away from impeaching.
And Trump's approval rating has gone up. They're upside down on approval rating versus support for impeachment.
Yeah.
Trump is actually approval rating is above support for impeachment. That is not something they wanted to see, which is probably why Pelosi's going for this last ditch manipulation effort. She can't. I mean, anybody hear Evil Woman playing in the background? I mean, she's playing a very, very dangerous game right now. And this could backfire horribly on her because if she gets truculent and does Schumer's bidding and refuses to send it, Mitch will ignore it.
Yeah.
And that will make it an election year issue.
Yeah, she's already made it an election year issue.
But I mean a serious one. We're talking about going into the caucuses and the.
You have to realize that the next debate is coming up. What, tomorrow? Today? Is it today?
Is it today's the 19th?
19th.
Or is it the 20th? I will Google this.
Which, by the way, do you know what day Bill Clinton was impeached on?
The
19th of December.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of funny how Christmas mania settles in, isn't it?
Becca says, I hope this truly backfires on her. Oh, see, again, it's going to depend. It's going to depend.
Yeah, it's today.
Yeah, there you go. So all of these candidates that made the stage are going to be asked about this.
And they're going to be asked to comment about a pending case before the Senate.
Which is funny. Did you hear them up there talking about how because McConnell said that he's already on the president's side, they're like, he's not an impartial juror. Yeah. Sanders and Warren, Klobuchar, Booker. These are four people that have been in your primaries who've not been shy about their feelings on this.
Yeah.
I haven't heard you guys say jack shit about them.
Oh, we expect impartiality. They're supposed to be bipartisanship. Thanks, Chris Saliza.
Oh God, that little shittard.
Yeah, really.
He is such a moron. He's such a moron.
Yeah, well,
Give me
he
just
is
a
a
second here, I'm
retrograde
sorry.
IQ. The silence, it is golden.
Sorry, making noises you don't want to hear. Yeah, I saw Chris Saliza. He did it. Where was that one? Let me see if did I retweet that? I think I did. It's down here somewhere. He tweeted out, "It's now pretty clear no Republican will vote for A, the formal impeachment inquiry, B, the first article of impeachment, C, the second article of impeachment." He tweeted this out after all of the voting was done. Now it's pretty clear. Like he was making some guess about what was going to happen in the future. Like, no, you shitbag. It's not pretty clear. It's history at this point, you dumb fuck.
Yes, but he wanted to appear wise. And to a lot of his Twitter followers, they didn't even know the vote was taking place. So he may have
says
appeared.
31 Democrats were elected in Trump districts. Well, this is going to be interesting. And this is a calculation where I think Nancy is truly fucked up.
You betcha.
If Trump wins re-election, which he probably will.
Those seats are gone, and so's her majority.
Yep. Because the president tends to bring House members with him. He tends to bring senators with him. The Senate could flip. It actually could. There's a chance. It's not real likely at the moment, but
and it becomes less likely the longer the stall game goes on.
I don't get the politics here. I really don't. They could have wait until afterwards, because there's still a chance they'll hold on to the House. A good chance. And remember, all you have to do for impeachment is a simple majority.
Mm-hmm.
Wait until after the election.
Well, they're not going to get Manchin's vote. That's the thing. Even if you were able to peel off a Republican, Joe Manchin's not suicidal. West Virginia's Trump country. He is not going to vote to remove the president in the Senate. The man's not insane.
I just don't understand why you take this chance now. And don't give me this bullshit, Nancy, because I won't believe you, that it's about country and duty and honor and the fucking
serious
Pledge
about
of
it.
Allegiance.
This was the most unserious past few weeks I have seen, with a great deal of prose being written about the value of our Constitution and our democracy. They're constantly calling it a democracy, our republic.
Mm-hmm.
None of them seem to be able to define any of this. The separation of powers and the description of impeachment within the Constitution, Nancy's own behavior right now is most definitely violating that.
Oh, yeah.
And I mean, nobody's going to file suit in court. I mean, McConnell isn't. Trump isn't. Nobody wants her to move them up there. Hold on to him, Nancy. Keep playing this game. Drag it out. May, June, July next year. You're just going to repeat 2016.
Grace
You're
says,
going to infuriate the country.
We all know Botox Nancy hates and despises the American peasant who defy her will. There was some, I think it was one of Collins's jokes where they were snipping back and forth at each other for a while, where he made the comment, they just don't think the American people are all that bright. They're not doing their will. It was some funny shit. He was on point today, man. Collins was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Collins was awesome.
There have been a couple of little budding stars to emerge from this. That Elise Stefanik. Some of these people have really stuck their heads above the parapet.
Mm-hmm.
And it can be dangerous to be too vocal a Trump supporter.
Oh, definitely.
But the way the Democrats were so unserious, particularly Schiff, in handling this, and just egregious in violating people's rights, that whole FISA thing, I don't think we've heard the last of it. If this impeachment fails, Schiff might feel some fire at some point. Somebody might decide to take legal action against him. John Solomon won't because he's a press tard, which
Guys,
is tragic because
Horowitz was testifying again yesterday.
yeah, he was testifying while this was going on. Isn't that interesting how we
Oh,
have
I missed that.
shiny object? Yeah, I missed it too. We were traveling today and
I was in bed most of the day, so
yeah, I could pick up from Twitter most of the nonsense that went on, that we've talked about Nazis, we've talked about Russia. It's like a deranged squirrel playing pinball.
Well, it was funny when they did. I mentioned this earlier, a couple of people who tiptoed up to the Russia line and then backed away quickly
because the Mueller report has a big old nothing burger in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
and you don't want to touch that after what Horowitz has already told us.
Yeah,
the whole Russian thing, after what Horowitz has already told us, the only reason this whole fucking investigation went on,
it's the Steele dossier,
is because and I did see one Republican who brought it up, and I don't remember which one it was. It was near the end. It was oh God, what's his name? I know his name. He was one of the good ones on the Intelligence Committee. Because they brought in Jordan, but there was that other guy who sat down in front of him, younger guy. What is his name? Anyway,
it's not Gates.
No, not Gates. Not Gates. Gates was on the Judiciary.
Yeah, Committee. I thought Gates was Judiciary. This is Intelligence Committee. There shouldn't be a Democrat on there right now. Sorry.
He actually brought up that the Democrats are the ones who were working with the Russians with the Steele dossier. I was like, yes, burn them with that shit because they deserve it. Look, guys, I want to be very clear here. If Trump did something illegal, I'm going to point you guys to the Clinton case. I don't think Bill Clinton should have been asked whether or not he had sex with these women. I don't think he should have been asked, but he was, and he lied about it. And in doing so, he broke the law. He deserved to be impeached for that. I don't think he deserved to be removed for it, but definitely impeached. If Trump had done even that much, if they had asked him, hey, did you fuck Stormy Daniels? And he said no, and it came out he actually did. Yeah, that at least then you have a crime. There's nothing here. There's no crime here. This isn't just me being a Trump. I'm glad the country's doing well. I enjoy Trump when he's fucking with people, but I'm not a Trump supporter. I don't care. But this was some bullshit. This was just absolute nonsense.
Yeah, they don't. There's no follow the money. There's nothing. It's. I mean, I found the list of the Republicans on the Intelligence Committee. It wasn't Nunez. I know you know him.
No.
Mike Conaway, Mike Turner, Brad Winstrup.
Nope.
Chris Stewart.
Nope.
Rick Crawford.
No.
Elise Stefanik, Will Hurd, and John Radcliffe.
Radcliffe.
Okay.
Him.
Of course,
he's another one. He's another one that's come up out of this and is like, damn. He's got some chops on him.
They have a couple of people who stayed awake in law school.
Yeah. Or
as opposed to Steny Hoyer.
Somebody got really mad at me for my joke the other night about Nancy Pelosi being a doctor. Frank Hubbard, thank you so much. He says, wasn't the whole reason the blowjob came up rape charges? No, those were tangentially related because those rumors have been going around the whole time, and the Rose Law Firm investigation, which is what this all stemmed from, they could have asked that at any time. It only came up after they had Monica Lewinsky, and actually it wasn't her. What was the chick's name? The one who actually leaked it, that fat ugly bitch, Linda Tripp.
Linda Tripp, yeah.
After Linda Tripp came out and went, the president's been having sex with somebody, and that's the only reason he got asked about it. And it was not illegal for him to. He could have fucking banged Monica in the ass over the Oval Office desk, and it's not illegal. So that's why I say he shouldn't have even been asked about it. It wasn't a crime.
Yeah, it was utterly classless. They were investigating. I mean, the whole Star thing started off about other issues.
Yep.
You had all kinds of poisonous, rotted fruit falling off the Clinton tree.
Yeah.
And Linda Tripp blew the whistle on this. And in the event that there was coercion because of the Paula Jones case, and what's her face? Oh my God, the blonde, the one who spoke out right before he was elected.
I know who you're talking
Jennifer
about.
Flowers.
Flowers, yeah.
And poor Kathleen Willey.
Oh, nobody talks about her.
Yeah, and it's interesting how her husband killed himself with no good reason too.
He got sad, y'all.
Yeah, he got sad right after they named a bridge for him here in town. And her tires were punctured. Her cat was killed. All kinds of really horrible things happened to that woman. She ended up,
then Trump brought her to a debate.
Yeah, yep. Yeah, because she was willing to go.
It was funny as shit.
Just like Jennifer Flowers was sitting during the Kavanaugh hearings.
There's just
when Christine Blasey Ford testified.
Yeah.
Jennifer Flowers was in that audience, and she showed up because she said, well, interesting. I thought I'd point out to them that some women aren't believed.
Well, there's a great meme photo that's been around since Donald Trump brought all of the Clinton accusers to that one debate.
Yes.
Where you see Bill and he's kind of looking off to the side, and it was like that moment when all of the women who have accused you of rape are in the same room.
Hey, baby, how you? Oh.
And again, look, I'm not defending Clinton either. I just don't think he should have been asked the question. But once he was under oath, he had a duty to tell the truth, and he perjured himself. So at least that was a crime.
Yeah, and
there's no crime that they can point to here.
No, because Trump has not testified to anything under oath. They can't poke around about that. This has been a dragnet that was put into place for fear he would become the nominee. He became the nominee.
Oh.
And I mean, the whole Steele dossier is such incredible tripe from the beginning. And I mean, honest to God, did you see that it was actually cited in an article by the British about Russian collusion in their last general election?
No.
Yeah, they're trying that shit. They are actually there, and we partnered with Fusion GPS.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
And it's like, I bet. Wait, what? These people are thoroughly discredited. And today, Brennan.
Oh, that little dirty shit. Yeah.
The mistakes were made. No, you fucking lied to a judge in a FISA court, you piece of shit.
Hold that thought, because I want to get into that deeper.
Okay.
But I want to hit impeachment just a little bit more.
No, absolutely. This is tangentially related because it's all part of what they tell us we're conspirators for calling a coup.
I wanted to bring up one other thing about this. There were several times throughout this debate today where people got up there, and Nadler did it at least twice and said nobody ran for Congress to impeach the president.
Bullshit.
Nobody ran. They bragged about running for Congress to impeach this guy.
Rashida Tlaib.
She
impeached the motherfucker.
Yeah, again, one of my favorite moments of the election where because people talk about that and they always miss that one part that makes me just go, oh. That she got up there and she said, we're going to impeach the motherfucker. What they don't talk about is that when she says that, she's telling a story about a conversation she had with her child.
Yep.
She said, I was talking to my son and I told him we're going to impeach that motherfucker. Talking about the president. None of them did it. None of them came in there to do that, though.
No. They weren't talking about impeaching him before he was elected. Not at all. If he wins, we're going to impeach his ass. They said it last week. Well, if he wins again, we'll impeach him again.
Magog, how you doing, my friend? He says this isn't going to work out for the Dems. It's a small victory that will lead to major defeats. I don't even see it as a small victory for him. Did you see how? Did you, Prosper? Did you see their little press conference at the end there?
Oh, I missed that. I'm sorry.
I
I'm actually sorry because the salt would have been.
If you go to Nancy Pelosi's page or her Twitter profile, whatever, you go over there, you can see it. It's linked there. It's like I think it says it's like 15 or 20 minutes, but you have to skip like the first 8 to get to it. I think maybe they were trying to go for solemn, but it looks more like reality hit them. It looks more like they're like, oh man, we fucked up. We fucked up. This is not going how we thought it would. They have that look of it's almost a deer in headlights look. Like I don't know what we're gonna do with this.
Now what?
Magog says it's technically a technical victory. Impeachment. I'll give you that. It's a technical victory. I'll give you that.
You know what it is? It's the classic definition of a Pyrrhic victory.
It's
you've won nothing.
They backed themselves into a corner, and again, they could have got out of it. They could have. As much as I've said that I think Tulsi was a coward for her vote, I've been saying for months that if they want to do something, just censure his ass, because it would have the same effect, which is no effect at all. They took so much glee in being able to say just the third person in history to be impeached. They took glee in that. They were happy. There was no. We hate that this is the third person we've had to do this to. No, it was like he's the third one. You guys, we got him.
Yeah, it's this is not something you're supposed to be joyful over. When the system breaks down, you're supposed to quietly correct it, not bray like donkeys from the mountaintop. We got him, only to, should it go to trial, be made utter fools of.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I am praying for? If this goes to trial, I would really like to see Trey Gowdy represent the president's case.
Oh, sir, thank you so much. Over on the Streamlabs, real quick. Impeach that motherfucker. No, I said we're going to put that motherfucker in prison. Rashida at a celebration after her winning her election. Yeah, it makes sense. That sounds like her. Certainly sounds like her. Magog says, I disagree. Censure wouldn't give them the use of the impeachment word during the 2020 campaign. Censure at least gives them a little more cover, because there's a lot of people out there. For example, Tulsi Gabbard. She thinks the president did wrong. I don't think what he did looks all that great. I don't know that it's wrong. But let's say the worst of what they said is true, that he's like, we're not going to give you military aid unless you investigate Biden. Well, one, he didn't say. It would be different if he said you need to investigate and indict Biden. You know what I mean? I think if you think there was something wrong, asking for an investigation is, well, probably the right thing to do. But they make it sound like there was a foregone conclusion drawn up, which nobody has suggested. If you take the worst of what they say he did, all right, maybe a slap on the hand. Hey, we don't calm it down. No, but it's not impeachment worthy. It's not worthy of kicking him out of office. And then at least you have your independents who are like, okay, I think he might have done something wrong there. I just don't think it's, impeachment worthy. And you say, well, we did what was available to us. And I think it works out. No one cares about censure. Average Americans, voters don't know about it. The word impeach has power. Yeah, but it's a double-edged sword. The word impeach, it does have power, but it's a double-edged sword for him. Because now the people who thought it was an incredible abuse of power on their end, no. There was talk in the Clinton one where it's like, we're just going to censure him. And they're like, no, we have to impeach. How'd that work out, Republicans? How'd that work out, y'all? Before we get on to What the hell's blowing up here? Oh, before we get on to FISA, because I do want to talk about that.
Mhm.
I want to show something from yesterday. This would have been on my show yesterday if I was awake and not dead. I want to bring up this here. Let me get this on the screen. Do. I need a producer. There we go.
Don't look at me.
Jennifer Agesta, I guess. Among those who oppose impeachment, more cite Trump's job performance as a major reason for their views than say it's because the president is innocent of the charges. Dun, dun, dun.
Ah.
Now, I want you to hold on for a second. Don't freak out too much, you guys, because what she's saying there is that people don't care if he broke the law. They just want their good economy. My good economy. So, unlike most CNN viewers, I went and actually pulled up the poll, and here's what it says. It does show that only 56% cited a major reason for not supporting impeachment is because they think Trump is innocent. And 64% said it's because they think he's doing a good job. 66% say that he's been the target of an unfair investigation. And 64% say it's because they don't think his offenses rise to the impeachable level. Now, it's important because of those, the innocent one, I would put two of those other possibilities with it, unfair and impeachable offense. But they don't mention that. They don't say more people think it's because the investigation was unfair than because they think he was, innocent, which is true according to this. They try to make it sound like, those dumbass Trump supporters, they don't care that he broke the law. They don't care. It's like, except, is that really what they said, you stupid cunt? No. And I only saw that. I don't follow Jennifer, but I follow O'Brien there. And Brian Stelter had retweeted that out. I'm like, CNN, this is why you fail.
So much
Your
fun.
lies are so easily found and pointed out. So easily found and pointed out.
Here we have the tape.
Right. It's like, oh, God.
It's over and over and fucking over again with Stelter, with Fredo, with Le Monde.
Well, don't forget, CNN, with the help of NBC, made Michael Avenatti a nightly news host, basically.
I know.
They don't talk about him anymore, do they?
Well, the whole Sweatnik thing. Oh my God. That fell apart. I mean, she goes on the NBC interview and just walks back everything she said.
Yeah.
Because she knew that if she were deposed and it went to any kind of action, she'd end up in jail for perjuring herself. Not to mention she might get charged for diddling kids since she was of age and they weren't.
And she said she knowingly went to rape parties repeatedly.
Uh-huh. Oops.
This is another great CNN moment, and this one's from today. Jim Acosta retweeted Trump and said, yesterday Trump said he wouldn't be watching the proceedings. And there you go. You caught him, CNN.
Little Abelio, he's so smart.
You caught him. He lied to you about whether or not he was going to watch the fucking proceedings.
Do you know how wonderful John Ward's video on today is going to be?
Oh, it should be awesome.
It's going to be one of those things that I will probably watch over and over again.
Judge Ugly just said Trump got impeached. Democrats most affected.
Yeah. It's Democrat women most affected.
Yeah. Well, but you remember they put all of them in the House.
Well, wait a minute. They're all women anyway, except for Zipper. I don't know what he is, but I think he might be related to Jabba the Hutt.
Charlie says, I really miss all the rape parties my school threw. Oh, Charlie.
I know. It kind of makes you nostalgic for your old school days.
Oh, man.
Good Christ.
The other thing. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No. It's just, it's all a part of one great big. I don't consider myself that old, But I am kind of wandering around, muttering to myself, I think I've lived too long.
Yeah.
Because I cut my teeth on Watergate, all right? I was a young teenager. And that was my foray and fascination with politics. And what we've been through since then, this is short bus kabuki.
Oh, this was just some serious nonsense.
Everybody in the play is going, I have a helmet.
Wait, why can't I find? Okay. Hey, Bear, you want to hang out? Can you hang out, or are you working tonight?
It's so pathetic.
There's two more things. The first one, this was passed on to me today, and I didn't get to see it until just now. Apparently Prince of Queens has passed.
What?
Yeah, I don't have any of the details, but so by that this could be false information I'm getting, but yeah, I was told Prince of Queens he passed away a couple of days ago.
I saw nothing about, well, the only semi-celebrity death I saw was that the coach of T.C. Williams High School.
Yes, he
passed away at the ripe old age of 84. That's a good run.
Bear says, yeah, Prince of Queens passed away. I need a screen with better resolution to confirm it. Oh, yeah, I didn't know anything about this. I haven't talked to Prince in a long time ago. Oh, okay. Yeah, Bear's still at work. But yeah, I haven't talked to him in a long time. So condolences to his family. Man. Moving from sad to incredibly funny, Bernie Sanders has opened his DMs, y'all.
I love the I can't. Who made the lovely comment? Was it Mike who made the comment about Dankula getting hold of that?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Jesus Christ. Pringles cans everywhere. He'd have no idea what was going on.
I did DM Bernie.
You did?
I was not rude or mean or anything. I think this is a setup. I really do. I think somebody in the Bernie campaign is like, if we do this, we're going to get all kinds of horrible shit we can take to the press and say, look at how these people are. And
then we'll remind them all that that's nothing. Go to 4chan. You're being encouraged to check the hashtag, by the way. Dangerous Spaces sent you something.
That or whoever's running his campaign really is as dumb as they seem.
Maybe Andrew Yang's team moved over.
I don't know who the fuck.
If Bernie starts shooting whipped cream and kneeling people's faces, it's all over. I'm sorry, I quit.
Yeah, Bernie has opened his fucking DMs. If you guys have something important to say to Bernie Sanders, you can go do it in his DMs. So I can't. I'm not encouraging anybody to go do such because that would be wrong. And if you do, just don't say anything horrible, guys. Don't be part of because I'm telling you, this is a setup. Yeah. This is a setup. Nobody is this dumb. Nobody. I saw the headline. Bernie Sanders becomes the first presidential candidate to open his DMs. I'm like, well, that's fucking stupid. There's no media consultant, social media consultant on the planet who's going to tell you, yeah, go ahead and open your DMs as a political candidate.
I'd just troll him and ask, tell him I was an ICE agent and I was checking into the staff at his third house.
Ask him how his honeymoon was in Moscow.
Hello, apparatchik. It is time to activate you.
Just go over there and ask him questions in Russian. We're not saying that. We're making jokes, YouTube. Hashtag not real. Hashtag this is just for fun.
I am loyal daughter of party. I have done nothing, Susan. I am innocent, I swear.
So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what comes of that.
YouTube yeeted Yuri Bezmenov stuff.
Who's that?
He was the KGB agent that defected and did that series of interviews explaining how the Fifth Column had invaded the United States.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, apparently those got bounced off YouTube for hate speech.
All right, you're gonna hear the sound, the nectar of the gods, you guys. Don't worry, I'm not just drinking. I've actually been drinking water, a lot of water, because I was severely dehydrated, you guys. I was dehydrated to that it hurts to pee phase.
Yeah, and that was also one of the reasons your body ached so badly.
Yes, it was. And with my already body ache, it made it. I've had the flu before, and that's what this felt like, but I'm recovering way too quick for it to have been that.
Do you ever take vitamin B?
Yes, actually.
Like a super B complex?
Yeah.
Good boy. Because that can also help you kind of recover from that kind of, oh dear God, what did I do to myself?
Speaking of what did I do to myself? Hi, Magog.
Hell.
Hey, everybody. What's going
You
on?
sound sad.
You sound sleepy to me.
I just woke up.
He sounds solemn, like,
What is
like
sleep?
he just impeached the president.
No, I just my insomnia fucked me up, dude. I just woke up like 30 minutes ago and was like, what day is it? Is it Wednesday? Is it Friday? Am I going to see Star Wars today? Or is it tomorrow?
Oh, God. We'll have to talk about that shit show later, too.
Oh, my God. Like, I took some time off. I needed some much needed R&R after side quests come to an end for the season. Holidays, and all that. And I guess burnout is real, man, because like it just hit me and I was just like, I'm fucking done. I need some R&R. And so I haven't done any content in like almost 2 weeks. I only wanted to take a week off, but then this week hit and I was like, way too much shit to do. But I plan on coming back with a bang by going to see Star Wars Friday morning, early matinee showing at the local movie theater. And then after that, doing a video on my thoughts. But I haven't done anything for a while. And so good to be back on the internet, I guess.
Well, welcome back.
I want to get your
opportune moment.
Yeah.
I want to get your thoughts on impeachment. But before we do that, I want to show one more thing that I saw today that just made me laugh my ass off. This actually happened right about midnight. Rachel Bade tweeted out, I'm deleting a tweet tonight that is being misinterpreted by some as an endorsement of some kind. To be absolutely clear, we at the Post are merely glad we are getting a break for the holidays after a long 3 months. I will retweet the group photo with a better caption. Rachel here works for the Washington Post. And this is what she tweeted out. And it was being misinterpreted, you guys.
That was so Amy Siskind.
Mary impeachment.
Can we recognize how cringe the words Mary impeachment is?
Oh God, yes.
Impeachment. Like
Boof.
Like it's some sort of holiday.
Well, that's what this is. I mean, this is what they're celebrating it. And she's like, well, this was misinterpreted. Was it? Was it?
Was it though?
Was it? Come on. You can be honest.
Yeah, Mary Trumpmas is what Massive Dynamics said.
I love this. I love this table of white people with the token Asian girl at the end.
Yes.
There. Like,
look, we have an Asian friend. Oh, wait, does she still count?
How? Okay.
Not if she went to Harvard.
This girl's obviously not new to the internet. Even
Apparently
if
she is.
Yeah, okay, there you go. Maybe this was her first day on the internet. She just thought, hey, that's the hashtag everybody's using. I'll use it too. It won't look like we're actually. There were several hashtags going around about the impeachment. Only this one, Mary impeachment, made it seem like a fun thing. And that just happens to be the one she accidentally used. Mm-hmm. Oops.
Yeah. Democracy dies to the pop of a champagne cork.
I think if you at all use the words Mary impeachment, you should rethink your life choices.
I think you're right.
Yes.
Now, I said I wanted to get
no matter what side you're on, if you use those words, kill yourself.
Well, I had to because I was talking about the story.
And don't forget Brennan, please.
No, unironically use those words, okay? Like, yes, we're discussing it, so we're allowed to, but we're talking about it. That's different.
Prospero.
If you unironically use Merry Impeachments.
Prospero, no, I'm not. We're not getting away from that. But since he just joined and missed it all,
Yes.
thoughts on the impeachment, my guy?
Thoughts on the impeachment? Well, I think this is going to go the way impeachment went for Republicans against Bill Clinton. I think it's going to be a small victory. They'll be able to use the word impeach during the campaign trail. We're going to win. This president is bad. He was impeached. There's the proof. He was impeached, even though we didn't get him removed from office, because I don't see that happening. I don't see the Senate removing him from office. And I think it's going to activate Trump's base even more. And I think a lot of Democrats that were on the fence are not going to vote Democrat next year or vote at all. And I also think a lot of House seats are going to get are going to lose. I think a lot of Democrats in the House are going to lose.
I think if Trump wins the election, I think the House will probably go back to the Republicans anyway. And I don't think it has anything to do with this.
I think it'll have a bigger effect. I agree with you. I think the House is going to return to Republican control anyway because of how crazy the House has been the last 3 years. But I think it's going to be more of a loss than they expect. I think a few people are going to lose their seats outside of the secure districts. I mean, people like, Rashida Tlaib might lose their seat, but somebody like Ilhan Omar won't because she runs in a district primarily made up of Muslim voters.
I think she might lose hers just for her personal peccadillos.
Maybe.
She's fucking around in a community that does not deal well with adultery.
Right.
If she went for mayonnaise.
If she loses, it won't be because she's a Democrat who stood for impeachment. She'll lose because the Muslim voters are like, you don't represent our
right,
our way of life.
She'll lose to a pure Muslim.
Now, I've heard the Clinton comparison before. One thing you do have to remember, though, with Clinton is he was far more popular than Trump has ever been in polls and everything.
Bill Clinton?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was a very popular president. I mean, the main reason he won because, Bush Sr. was a very good politician.
Oh, he only lost. Bush Sr.
He was boring. God, he
only
boring.
lost because of Perot. If it wasn't for Perot, Bush would have had a second term.
I don't know about that. Perot didn't split the votes like people think.
He took a fair enough percentage. Remember that in both times he was elected, Clinton was a minority.
Yeah, but Bush would have made up for it if he had been a better personality. I mean, it was a time in America where we were out of the 80s. Mm-hmm. The Cold War was over. There was economic success, and everybody was feeling really great.
Not yet.
No, there was that recession that occurred, and
Clinton. It was not a recession compared to like under Carter.
But the press reported it as if it were the beginning of economic disaster. They were all in on charismatic Bill. I remember.
That's what I'm getting to. I mean, look at Bush Sr. and how he talked and how very kind of like drawl and what's the word? He was like a human quaalude.
He was very very wooden. Very, very wooden.
And here's this guy comes in and he's got sunglasses and plays a saxophone and he's on Arsenio Hall. He was very popular. If Bush had been a bit more charismatic, he would have pulled some swing voters, and that wouldn't have gone for Perot. And it would have helped him out. I don't know. We can agree to disagree. I know that technically Perot took some votes out of Bush's corner, but I still don't think he would have won simply because
Perot ran specifically against Bush because of a personal grudge.
Sure,
and he pulled people because of that, because he was maligning Bush's character. Perot was. I'm pretty convinced that he pulled Republican votes. But he did not pull many Democrat votes.
But Bush had some wins under his belt that if he had been a more charismatic president, it wouldn't have mattered what Perot did.
Well, he also made the mistake of read my lips, no new taxes. And when he did it, I said, well, he never said anything about raising the old ones.
Right.
You know,
No new taxes,
true.
right? Yeah, technically true. But once again, that was the 90s. I mean, to go back to the impeachment thing, I mean, it hurt Republicans a lot.
And Clinton was also, remember, impeached in his second term.
Right.
Yeah.
He
not
didn't
in
have to
his
run again.
first. Trump has to run again. And
Now that
Will he-
is
wait.
interesting. Now, Prospero, you bring up something interesting. That is interesting.
Will
was
he be the
impeached.
first one reelected?
yes,
If
he would.
if he wins, not only will he be they're hyping on this whole congratulations, Trump, you're the third, and out of all the presidents we've had, you're the third to be impeached. Like, hope it feels good. And it's like, yeah, but what if he wins? Then he will be the first president who's been impeached by Congress and turned around and won.
Yeah, I don't
And
believe I don't believe Andrew Johnson ran for a second term. So
How embarrassing would that be for the Democratic nominee to lose
To an impeached
president? They did not think this through.
No, they didn't.
They did not think this through.
No, they didn't. And because they're calling and have not stopped doing it since Hillary's basket of deplorables, they've doubled and trebled their assault on the Trump supporters.
Mhm.
We're not, those people assumed to be aligned with Trump, as in anyone critical of a Democrat. And so we're included in this, whether we do or don't support him. We went from being deplorables to being racists, Nazis, fascists, and oddly enough, tools of the Russians.
Real quick, Dutton in chat says, waking up to Monkey on my birthday is a wonderful birthday, or waking up to Monkey in the morning is a wonderful birthday present. Thank you. P.S. My 6-month-old is on monkey time. I'm sorry to hear that, but Dutton, I have to do this for you. Anybody who wants to can join along, but this is for you. 1 and a 2. Happy birthday to you.
Birthday to you.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to you. Shoobop,
Happy
shoobop.
birthday, dear Dutton.
Shoobop, shoobop.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday.
Now,
Happy birthday. I hope you have a wonderful one. I really do.
now, Trump would be the fourth if Nixon hadn't stepped down.
Oh, but
But they had never
Nixon would've
voted
been
on the
removed,
articles.
But they never finished the articles of
Yeah,
impeachment because he
didn't.
stepped down.
Yeah, because the
He was
Goldwater.
going to be removed.
Yeah.
Goldwater went
He
to
would
him.
have been the first to actually be removed. See, that's the thing too. Is these Dems that are celebrating this so-called victory don't understand that as of 2019, there has yet to be a single president
Removed from office.
who's been impeached by the Senate,
Mhm.
and removed from office by the Senate under a Senate trial. Andrew
Johnson.
was impeached, but the Senate didn't remove him. They acquitted him. And the same happened with Bill Clinton. I mean, it was a slap on the wrist, essentially, for lying about the blowy under the table.
Hey, it was on the desk. Thank you.
But yeah, I feel like it is a victory for the Dems because they'll be able to say impeachment during next year, all next year. This president's been impeached. This president,
I think
We'll
they
find
saved
out.
one.
don't vote for him. He's been impeached.
We'll find out. We'll find out because it could be that, and I use this metaphor about British politics, that they sowed salt in Rome and claimed they won in Carthage. They really may have. This may be an entirely false victory for them because I think you're right, Magog. That those 31 congressmen that sit in Trump districts very likely to get shown the door.
Yeah, that's going to be harsh because I watched a video. I don't remember who.
There goes their majority.
Yeah, who was it? She was a woman and she was a Democrat, but she was in a kind of like a Trump strong district.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And she was given some sort of speech about why she like flip-flopped on impeachment, because at first she was against it. She thought maybe we should beat him in the ballot box next year. We shouldn't impeach him. And then she switched all of a sudden. And I watched this video. I even downloaded it. I thought about doing a video on it when I come back. Who was it? Let me click on it. Elisa Slotkin.
Yeah.
She's from Michigan.
Yeah, I'm watching this speech and she's talking to people, and the people are screaming at her. I mean, they are heckling the hell out of her. Like, how fucking dare you? We elected you because even though you're a Democrat, because you said you weren't for impeachment, and now you are. And it's like, oh my God, she's going to lose her seat.
This is why we can talk about, you mentioned when we were chatting, when you were still in chat, a technical victory. I think they see it as a victory, and I think that's where they're very, very wrong. They definitely see it as one. And like I said, if you watch their little press conference they gave at the end, it's almost like reality is sitting in on their faces as they're doing this. They're like, fuck, we really did this.
Yep.
I think that they have that short term, and you heard it with the little clap that Nancy made him stop. Yeah, she actually had to do that with both of the votes, you guys. In the first one, she just gave that mom face, no. And then the second one, she actually held her hand up because one person clapped. It was funny. But yeah, I think a lot of them do see it as a victory. And I think Nancy, at least at this point, has realized what they've just done, and that it's not a victory because there's no way to win this in the Senate. There's not. Well,
that's the thing
and
that's why I said it's a technical victory.
Exactly.
They voted yes. Impeachment is done. It has happened. The House has impeached the president. That is an actual victory, because if they had lost, if they had lost the vote, we would be calling it a victory for the Republican side, the right-leaning side, and a defeat for them. And so if they had lost, if we called it a defeat, we have to call it a victory if they won. However, it's one of those victories. Like, we won, but we're going to lose worse.
You win the battle and then you find out you're surrounded by the enemy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we've got the high ground. You have a rock,
mm-hmm.
And we have grape shot. Have fun.
Yeah. It's one of those things where you see people on Twitter going, yeah, impeachment, woo, yeah, get that motherfucker out and all this and that. And they're like, do you not know what impeachment means? That's another thing too. Like 80% of Twitter is learning impeachment doesn't mean what they think it means.
Oh yeah, they think he's out of office now, and it's like blah, 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 blah.
So many Dems thought that impeachment meant removed from office.
Well, it explains why they elect the morons that just impeached him, because they don't know how it works. That none of them seem. Look, the press doesn't even understand how it works.
If a left-leaning person was here on the show with us, they would say, yes, we understand that it doesn't mean removed from office, but it's like a first step towards, ending this presidency because it's the worst thing that's ever happened in the history of America and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, have you really thought about it? I mean, seriously, think about it. If you take away all the shit that Trump says, if you ignore his Twitter, ignore all the times he puts his foot in his mouth, ignore all the times that he's been brazen and harsh and mean. If you take all that away, what's the worst thing he's done as president? What is the absolute worst fucking thing that he has done? So you have like Bush brought us into an unnecessary war that ended the lives of millions of Iraqis and hundreds of thousands of American troops. Obama drone striked American citizens. Mm-hmm. Don't get me started on Benghazi, right?
No.
What's the absolute worst thing that Trump's done? Trade war with China that made like steel and textiles go up in price. That's the absolute worst thing I can think of. By that metric,
he did swear once.
Oh God! Oh yeah, he said.
I think he said bullshit.
Oh, real quick, Cheryl, thank you so much. She said, Monkey, oh my God, I was so worried about you. So happy to hear your voice. You guys are far too kind to me. And sometimes I feel like maybe I stream too much, but then I'm gone for a day and a whole bunch of people are like, are you okay? Where were you? We missed you. You guys are fucking amazing. I love you. I really, really do.
Tell me about it. I took a week and a half off of content. Everybody's like, "Where's the dog at?" I'm like, "Damn it!
Well,
I just needed a vacation."
I stream between 2 to 4 times daily, every day, and this has been my schedule for over a year now.
I sometimes wish I had started just a streaming channel.
I'm seriously considering, and you know, I really want to do it. I want to take all of yesterday's testimony things. What were they called? That's not testimony. What was it? Argument? Yesterday's arguments, and just put together every time a Democrat says they're not arguing that he's innocent, and then put together a spot where Republicans actually arguing that he did nothing wrong and why, and just make a series of those videos. Yeah, that's a lot of shit to wade through.
Yeah, it is. It's a lot, and I'm not the type of researcher.
I don't have that much time.
I'm an entertainer. I'll take some clips off of Twitter and respond to them. That's what I do. I don't. Now, I'm not going to do 16 hours of research and editing to turn around and get 4,000 views. I feel you. I mean, it sounds bad. I wish I had more of an impact. I wish I had more of an audience, so that my videos would get out there more, because I feel like some people just want to watch a dark wizard tear into idiots on the internet, but I'm not quite there yet. And so it's already a lengthy process to do, with the filming and the makeup and the lighting and the editing. So
Cheryl, I feel really bad for how that all happened. I did not go off the internet because of that fall. It wasn't that bad of a fall. It was a very small one. I just banged my arm and I caught myself. I only went down one stair before I caught myself. I was sick is why I haven't been here. It wasn't that little. Believe me, those falls only hurt me for like a day, maybe 2 at most. So, and they've never been enough to keep me off the internet. Fuck that. But the inability to sit up straight because my body's like, go lay down. So that's what did it. Now we've been talking about this for a little bit without actually getting there. Prospero, it's time for John Brennan. I want to remind you guys, John Brennan used to be the CIA director. He's also the one that everybody got mad because Trump took his security clearance away from him, and the press lost their shit. How dare you do this to a man who doesn't have that job anymore?
Well, yeah, and I mean, that technically was petty of Trump, but
it was petty, but it's fine.
It because Brennan's a shitbag.
There was nothing wrong. There's nothing illegal about it. They pulled that precedent shit they like to do. He's breaking precedent. Like, is he breaking the law? No, but then shut the fuck up.
Yeah, where Brennan may have actually been engaged in shady shit. All Trump did was I was trying to be lawyerly about this. He was, Jesus Christ, Brennan. Good old commie John. Yeah, that piece of shit.
Oh, good night, Lion Patriot. What this is in regards to is the whole FISA thing, the whole thing that gave us the Russia investigation, you guys. The Russia investigation, for those of you who don't remember, was the investigation into whether or not Trump or the Trump campaign colluded with the Russians in the 2016 election.
In case somebody doesn't remember, the left wouldn't let us forget.
They don't want to talk about it much anymore, do they? They sure as fuck don't want to talk about the FISA court. Did you guys read that? The FISA court paper that came out the other day, where the usually very silent FISA court came out and said, these fuckers lied to us. Mm-hmm. And all over the press, they keep calling it mistakes.
Yeah,
there were mistakes made.
And the FISA court's doing that in part because of Horowitz is busy pulling the curtain back from the Star Chamber.
Yeah.
That this nonsense has been going on. But Brennan, that posing piece of crap. I mean, mistakes were made. Yes, well,
mistakes.
No, lies. But, let's call them misrepresentation, shall we? Look, Spy Master, what was your first clue that mistakes were made?
Real quick, thank you, James Colley. Magog, the worst thing Trump has done, he's keeping future gardeners, hotel staff, and street pharmacists out of work in cages. God damn you. Go sit in the corner, James.
Damn.
Cages that were built by whom again?
That was Trump, but
yeah, but he looked strangely like a
it was
senator
brown
from
Trump.
Illinois. Yeah.
It was. It's a strange state of politics when previous presidents can do exactly what Trump is doing, and nobody gave a fuck.
Oh God. Yeah, they're accusing him of being an imperial president and a fascist and all this stuff, and it was like, holy shit! I can point to you easily 5 things that Obama did that were well beyond precedent for executive power.
And George W.
Yes.
And Bill Clinton. And George Sr.
Yeah, no kidding.
Charlie in chat says, I didn't read it because I knew Monkey would, so it's like getting the Cliff Notes for free. That's right. But also, guys, remember, if you ever doubt anything I say, go. Don't just take my word for it. Please never just take my word for it. I can be wrong, but I'm not in this case. The FISA report that came out, it was from the chief judge there. I forget her name. But they released this condemnation, basically, of what happened with the 4 FISA warrants that were given and the evidence that was given to justify those warrants.
Your boy Pat is in the chat. I just wanted to give a shout out to everybody's very best black friend. And don't forget, because you are black, you have to vote Democrat next year.
Good
luck with that one.
It's required for your race to vote Democrat next year.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to have to be called your boy Tom now, would you?
It's weird because when Horowitz's IG report came out, the press all over told us, look, 3 of the warrants were bad, but the first one was fine. That's Horowitz said the first one was okay. That's not what the FISA court said. They said all 4 of them were wrong, that they were lied to in all 4 of them.
Yes, they were. I wonder if they'll get around to addressing what Schiff did.
You think the Washington Post will be making that a major headline?
Oh, I don't think so.
We know they won't because this happened a couple of days ago and they still haven't.
They'll be investigating the Twitter feeds of all the FISA judges.
They're too busy out there celebrating impeachments.
Or that one of the children of one of the FISA judges once upon a time posted a Pepe meme. And one of them was caught making a white power symbol.
No.
Yeah. I mean, you saw that crap that's going on about the Army-Navy game.
Yep.
Oh, stop. 4chan trolled you. Just own the L.
Lady Monkey is taken to watching CBS This Morning every morning. And so I go up there and
torture you.
I went up there and they were actually talking about this and they slowly broke down that video and zoomed in on the hands. I was like, oh my God, you fucking people.
And you have a military academy seriously saying they're going to investigate this.
Yes.
How could a game that's been played since I was a fucking kid?
The circle game,
the circle game. Like, we played that in the desert, like in Iraq.
Yeah.
Like, we'd be out smoking in the smoke pit, and one of my buddies would be like, "What's up, dude?" And he'd put his hand down, and I'd look down, and he goes, "Aha!" and punched me in the arm, and I'm like, "Fuck!"
And that's the fun. They haven't even.
God, you got me.
Our press hasn't even. My kids played that game. I never played it, but my kids did, and so there's a difference between the OK sign and what you see there. And the one that they were doing there is the one where you get to punch your friends.
Yeah.
It's a slight difference in how it's made. They still don't get it.
Yeah, it's still a thing that happens in the military because people are fucking bored in the military sometimes, especially in training. You don't have video games, you don't have internet. You're in basic training or tech school or whatever. You have very little things to do with your time outside of training except fuck around with your friends.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking game. It's just a game. It's like
they slow motioned it and highlighted the hands. I was like, are you fucking kidding me?
And they've completely misinterpreted the KKK three finger symbol.
Mm-hmm.
from like the 50s and 60s. Like that was a real thing. But what the Klan would do is it's not the OK symbol. It's the first 3 digits, and you hang them outside your pocket. So you have your pinky and your thumb inside your pocket and your 3 fingers pointing down to your knee. So when you're just kind of chilling on the street corner, you're kind of hanging out, you put your fucking 3 fingers pointed downward. That's KKK. Right?
Charlie says, that's a game? Now I know why my husband used to punch me all that's in the arm. Well, I'm glad we've figured that out, so you don't think he's just abusing you.
Well, it's like, can there be 3-point shot signs put up in basketball anymore?
Yes, but you have to use 2 different hands so people know you're not making a K.
Who remembers? I don't know if you guys know this because I don't know how. I know that you're a bit older than me, Monkey. I'm not exactly like old, but I ain't no spring chicken anymore.
I am.
When I graduated high school, I graduated in 2003. So at our graduation, everybody was okaying because it was 03.
Right.
03, and we were chanting it because we were graduating in 03. Does that mean my whole fucking school was suddenly like,
dude, if they get
to white supremacy, like black guys were doing?
if they get video of that, man, your whole school's going down. But back to FISA. So you want to shift Prospero with FISA.
Schiff getting FISA to approve pulling phone records for Giuliani. Who the hell? Oh, his fellow Congress critter,
Devin Nunes,
who's on his committee, and John fucking Solomon,
a reporter,
someone who is purportedly agnostic, but looking to see if there was coordination with the press.
Well, he tried to sell this as obstruction of justice. He actually, this was their
and who
reasoning.
visited the White House when? And was Trump calling John Solomon to get him to run interview? Okay, but what fucking planet do you have to be on to think that Trump would be stupid enough to call any member of the mainstream media whose last name doesn't rhyme with Kennedy?
Real quick, James Colley, thank you. Magog, you are from Kansas, so plausible?
No, he said Arkansas.
Oh, sorry, right, Arkansas.
It's the insult. They don't realize that the AR stands for the assault rifle Kansas. We're the
assault rifle Kansas.
We're the assault version of Kansas.
The boomstick of Kansas.
Yeah, we're the assault version of Kansas. Yes, the headquarters of the Ku Klux Klan is in Harrison, Arkansas. Yes, they are still very active in a very small town of like 19,000 people in Arkansas. But most people in Arkansas, even if they're racists, don't like the Klan anymore. And even if they're racist, it ain't like the racism of before. It's more like, I mean, if you move to Arkansas and you're black, we might burn a cross on your yard, but it's more of a like welcome to the neighborhood cross.
It's tradition.
It's more, it ain't even burning because we're afraid of like all the burn bans because how dry it gets sometimes. So it's actually just like a cross covered in Christmas lights.
It's a cross lighting.
Yeah. Listen, like, yes, there's still racism.
It's for merry impeachment.
Of course, there's still racism.
Oh,
you know, yes, merry impeachment. That's an upside down cross.
You'll get in trouble.
No, hanging the Christmas tree upside down is an Eastern European tradition based off the Trinity. It's okay. So I can pull some shit out of my ass. I've got it covered.
I could tell you what, though, there may be some racists in the South, but at least we still have our like Southern hospitality. I've been to the North. Okay, I've been to northern states like Illinois, Michigan, and shit, where I have met like real racists, like hardcore fucking racists, and I was just like, damn. And they call us racist in the South. Jesus.
Oh,
have you ever been to Boston?
At least in the South, it's like I don't like that black guy. He just invited us over for fried chicken. Well, I like chicken.
Have
So,
you been
you know
to
what?
Boston? I mean, seriously, go to Boston sometime if you want to find some real eye-opening
Well,
racism.
Let's be honest. Even if you go back to the Civil War, you might have had the North who thought, "Hey, we need to get rid of slavery," but they still didn't want darkies eating with them.
No, hell no. Like racism is kind of everywhere, and the only way to destroy it is to coalesce,
Yes,
come together,
melt, motherfuckers.
And to
food's
laugh.
always a
And
always a good way.
And to laugh at the racists, just laugh at them.
Yeah.
I mean, just you complete imbeciles. I mean, it's like the pink hair curlered women back in Faubus's day throwing rocks at little kids on school buses. I mean, what a bunch of inbred looking, housecoat wearing, scuff shuffling inbreds they were.
Yeah.
That's how you talk about them. You're just like, you dropped on your head one too many times in the trailer, sugar.
Dangerous says, we think the colored should be free over there somewhere, just not here. Exactly.
Yep.
We have this notion that, or at least it seems to be in popular culture, that the North was just like hugging black people and having children with.
The last two states to get rid of slavery were in the North.
It's because Abraham Lincoln convinced people of the North that ending slavery would end the war.
Yeah, but it didn't end slavery in the North.
But man, you should have seen some of the old newspaper clippings and shit from the fucking like Boston Globe back in like that time period. It's like, like the darkies are free, but don't let them live here,
Yeah, keep them down south where we don't have to see them. Yeah, look,
bad, man.
we're laughing at intolerance here, but
we're laughing. Yeah.
Look, racists are thankfully not a majority of our country anymore. And when you run into a real one, it's almost startling. Like, are you a meme?
Yeah, like I live in the South, and when I run into a genuine racist, somebody who like a white dude who's just like, God damn, N-word this and N-word that, and I can't stand them, and they're all criminals. When you run into somebody like that, you're like, is your mom and dad cousins? Like,
no, at that level, they are brother and sister. Let's be honest.
And they were for 5 generations back.
Indeed.
Those are the kind of people that you're like, dude, are you a Poe?
Yeah,
really?
Like most normal people, even here in Arkansas, when they see somebody like that, they're going, "That's a motherfucker whose family tree is a telephone pole.
Mm-hmm.
Like it got no branches."
Mm-hmm.
Massive says identity politics has set back anti-racist endeavors. It absolutely has.
Yeah,
identity politics is the notion that you have to pay attention to race instead of, not.
Yeah. But we're getting off on a tangent.
That's all right. That's what we do on Monkey in the Morning.
That's what we do, I guess. Yeah. I'm gonna be up all fucking day.
The theme of Monkey in the Morning is I'm here talking to people. That's it. Where we go is where we go.
Metaphorist says Lincoln didn't want to end slavery. He had to rally the North against Confederacy. He did want to end slavery. That's actually from his personal writings too, because he felt it would be immoral to emancipate people and then turn around and take that away. And that's why he wanted to solidify it with an amendment to the Constitution, because it would be wrong to take the chains off of somebody, have them fight our war for us, because there were black soldiers fighting from the North, and then turn around and go, okay, you're back.
We were just kidding.
Yeah.
Like we were just kidding.
Yeah. Except there is that troublesome little moment leading up to the Civil War called the Corwin Amendment that was introduced that Lincoln was willing to go for. He was so concerned about the Union being torn asunder that he was willing to sacrifice principle there.
Yes. And that's what ends up what I'm guessing metaphorist is talking about, and what you hear anytime, like, well, Lincoln didn't want to end slavery. He did, but he was willing to be like, if it keeps the Union together, then we won't. Unfortunately, by that time, the tinderbox had been lit.
Yeah, right after the Corwin Amendment got scuppered, Shots were fired at Sumter.
Yeah. So he was willing, and I mean, this isn't his right. He was willing to keep slavery if it kept the Union together. But by the time that was not an option anymore.
But that was the early days. I mean, by the time the war had gone into full swing and everything, he
could move ahead with his.
He could move with
Yeah.
emancipation and convince people that slavery was the reason the South was fighting.
But he did not force emancipation in the North at all, and
Well,
that's
another. Oh,
that's
sorry.
that's a peculiarity because it was Vermont and New Jersey, I think, that were the last two states to manumit. It's just one of those little historical peculiarities that he had to keep the Union as it existed together, which meant compromise. He had to be a pragmatist in a very, very horrid time for this country.
Sure. I mean, he is by far not he's not a perfect angel. He's a human being. But
He can't be. You can't
think-
lead. You know, unfortunately, everyone has feet of clay, and pragmatism to save the Union had to be the rule of the day. It would be for any of us. Only an insane ideologue would let the entire country go up in flames.
Well, you also have to try not to make the mistake of looking at Lincoln and that time period and the politics of that time through the lens of today.
Oh yeah,
You know,
Especially not with rose-colored lenses, because holy
Right.
shit.
well that's
if Lincoln was alive today, he would be called a racist Nazi and be sent off of, canceled off of social media. Can you imagine the President Abraham Lincoln podcast where
you were willing to negotiate with those people. You're as bad as they are. Yeah, it's that Team Jersey thing has gotten insane, and it's really sad.
Did you see the people today? There were several Democrats who got. This isn't about party. Like, come on, really?
How'd that vote go
look.
for him then?
Lie to yourself. That's fine, but don't lie to me.
That's not what the American people see. I mean, I've talked to people. The guy who came to build my dad's shop was an odd duck for Arkansas. He was very upset with the Electoral College because he lives in a state that typically goes red, so he feels like his vote never matters. And he absolutely hated Trump, was pro AOC. He thinks that she'll make a great president one day.
Oh, wow.
And talking with him while they were out there building my building was just kind of an eye-opening experience. That they do exist off the internet. I was very surprised. But it was so weird because when I would bring up points like, the Russian investigation, for instance, I was like, well, no collusion, no evidence. That's over. I mean, you had 300 of the country's greatest investigators and they didn't find anything. And he just looked at me and was like, come on, buddy. Come on. You know he did it.
But collusion.
Real quick, I have a donation. X43 over on Streamlabs. Thank you so much. The entire history of slavery in the U.S. is far more shades of gray than we teach. Many politicians were against it in theory, but couldn't see a solution in practice. As Sowell writes, we're much better at judging in absentia. No need to make it work. Yeah, a lot of people. General Lee was against slavery. He owned a slave, which is weird for somebody who's against it, but he was against it. He wanted to get rid of slavery.
He married into an abolitionist family.
Yeah, he was there.
The Custis family were abolitionists.
The general, the top general of the Southern Army.
One of the reasons I believe he and his brother owned slaves was their father, Light Horse Harry Lee, Revolutionary War hero, also a profligate gambler and womanizer, had beggared them both.
Who wasn't back then?
Yeah, but I mean, he beggared them. They were poor. He and his brother owned a townhouse. I think it was in Alexandria or Arlington. And that was all the property they had. That's why Lee was in the army. And his brother was scrapping along. He didn't marry for years because he wasn't fit to marry because he was so poor. That's there. I mean, they're
I do want to be clear here.
Modern world does not. You can't look at the Middle Ages through the lens of today at all. You can't do. That's bad history.
Well, I do want to be clear here. There were absolutely politicians in the South who were like, "We need to have our slaves." Absolutely.
Yes, there were.
Oh, yeah.
And I think it's the South Carolina debates about this. There's some horrible fucking
John C.
people.
Calhoun and the
Fucking horrible people.
yeah, they were. They were genuine racists.
Yes. And then you had others who, it was to say ambiguous would be generous, I think. And then others who were absolutely against it. But as we've mentioned, you can't look at the time and judge it by today. You just can't. These are people who grew up where this was the norm.
Yep. It takes time. It takes time.
It does.
To turn that ship,
Well, the best example of this, go back to before the Supreme Court made gay marriage legal. We had horrible fights about this, arguments and stuff. The president of the United States at that time, Barack Obama, ran against gay marriage.
Yeah. You don't even have to go back that far. You're right.
I think that's the biggest change we've seen.
No, you don't have to go back as far as like the Civil War. You can go back as recent as a decade and see a complete shift in policy and talking points by the Democrats and Republicans.
I bring this, Tulsi Gabbard got shit in one of the debates because she was against gay marriage. So was Obama, so was Hillary Clinton, so was every fucking Democrat. The state of fucking California voted it down.
Voted for it, then voted it down.
A decade later,
it's the same with border security. How many of these Democrats, especially Obama, was talking about don't bring your kids here. Do not travel to America. You'll be sent back. How many times did he say that shit?
Real quick, James Colley over on the Streamlabs. Thank you so much. Who says, PSA, Monkey in the Morning is brought to you in part by chat, donations, and viewers like you. So fucking donate, not just to Monkey, but to the dais as well. But donations will help Monkey afford Nerf stairs, hashtag Nerf stairs for Monkey, hashtag NecroDaddy, hashtag something cool for Prospero. Thank you so much, James. It's very kind of you.
Old Bat will work. Speaking of which, Old Bat needs to get some water. I'll be right back.
How many people over at the at Disney and Marvel over at the Star Wars people are like, thank God impeachment's happening. News cycle is not on how bad our movie is.
Oh God. Have you seen these spoilers?
I've seen one or two because I shouldn't have got on Twitter before I saw this movie, but I did come across one or two, and it looks as bad as everybody predicted, and the leaks are apparently all true. Like everything Doomcock has released and everything that Geeks and Gamers and stuff and the Fandom Menace people have been doing.
The rule around here is I won't spoil movies. I don't care. I've actually looked up all the spoilers because I don't care. But I won't spoil movies for anybody in chat. So as we discuss this, we will do our very best not to give any spoilers.
Well, I haven't seen it yet, so I can't spoil it.
Well, that's why I asked if you'd seen any of the
I won't talk about spoilers I've seen on the internet.
I also have to say that so that anybody in the audience are like, please don't spoil it. We're not going to, just so you know. Calm down.
Yeah.
But oh my God, the reviews on this. The only thing that makes me want to watch this movie, Magog, is how bad the reviews are, because usually when the reviewers don't like it, I tend to. And last I saw, the Rotten Tomato score was 59%. 59 from the reviewers.
Yeah. Let me look up where it's at now. Let's see. Forbes, New York Times, Rotten Tomatoes. Let's see where Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah. What is it now?
Still at 58%.
Oh, so it's actually gone down, because it was at 57. It jumped to 59 and it's gone back down.
Yeah. Where's everybody?
I've seen some
favorite fucking. Okay, so
Charlie says, what movie? We're talking about The Rise of Skywalker, the last in the Skywalker trilogy, which, by the way, that is a dumb name for the last in the saga. The last in the saga is The Rise of Skywalker. I fucking hate that. Oh, anyway.
Okay, so James Berardinelli on Rotten Tomatoes says, it's too bad the Star Wars saga has saved the worst for last.
Oh, ouch. Well,
A harried, Katie Walsh says, a harried and hectic affair.
I read a couple of reviews, and the BBC one was the first one that came out that I saw, and the person, they were like, "Look, it's an action romp. There's lots of action. It's nonstop, pretty much." But he basically said it's Return of the Jedi, in that it's kind of hits all the same notes. And I'm not getting into any of the what about it, but that was his comparison. It's Return of the Jedi.
Here's one of the best reviews on Rotten Tomatoes. A mostly terrible movie with some admittedly great moments. You'd be better off skipping Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker and binge watching a few episodes of The Mandalorian instead.
Oh, see, that's something I think they may have accidentally made a mistake with, because Mandalorian has been met with pretty decent reviews so far. And they're bringing out this movie that by everyone's account is garbage going into it. This is before anybody had actually seen it. And now that people are, they're like, yeah, it's going to be, look, hey, just go watch The Mandalorian instead. At least it's got Baby Yoda in it.
Yeah, Mandalorian's great. I am enjoying it. But I think it's because of the times. I mean, honestly, The Mandalorian, as it stands, would have been a movie back in the day.
Yeah.
And now, as a long-form television show, they have some time to flesh out the characters, the plot line, really have some of these, like, you can have like an episode where they kind of build the character instead of just like going straight on into the action, and really build things up, because the Star Wars universe is so vast.
Oh, yeah.
There's so much lore in it that people don't want these like short 2-hour epics anymore. They want like a good long story, you know?
I brought this up many, many times because the prequels, I think, give people a weird idea of Star Wars. If you go back to the first three movies, what they now call A New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi, they are very, very simplistic movies.
Yeah, they are.
It is good versus evil, and they're
fairy tales.
Yeah, and very, very short. And if you look at the actual going-ons, it's very simplistic. And then they get into the prequels where they bring all of this fucking political garbage into it.
Yeah, I've met people who are more, you know, I don't want to name any names, but there's even members of my family that are more left-leaning than I am politically. And even they, as Star Wars fans, were like, Last Jedi,
oh God,
was awful. It had all this like rich people bad, free the animals, the whole casino scene. Like nobody liked it.
I wanted to punch myself in the dick when I saw that.
I did punch myself in the dick when I saw it.
Oh my, the characters, they threw way too many characters into the sequels. Way too many.
Yeah, they way too many convoluted side plots that matter very little to the essence of the film. Rian Johnson was so obsessed with subverting expectations that he subverted every plot line that J.J. Abrams had created with the first one. Like,
well, he said he wanted to challenge the audience. By what? Pissing them off? You can challenge the audience and make it about something else without. What the fuck even was that casino scene?
Yeah, but this is what you get when you hire somebody to take over a beloved franchise who writes his scripts in crayon. Okay,
well, they should have got somebody who loved the franchise instead of somebody who's like, I want to fuck with people.
Yep.
AP, are we talking about Star Wars? How did you guess?
Yeah.
How did you guess? I'm not a fan of the expanded universe. I've never delved into it because I don't care. For me, Star Wars is about the movies. I love the original three. Sure. I hate all three of the prequels. And there's not a strong enough word for how I feel about the sequels. I know a lot of people like The Force Awakens. I thought it was convoluted garbage. And a lot of people, it's A New Hope. It's really not. I mean, they kind of tried to do it, but it's really not.
They should have just called it a newer Hope.
They should have called it a New Hope if the person writing it was even worse than George Lucas.
That title's way too long, man.
That's all right. It fits, though. because they tried to do too many things, and once again, go back and watch A New Hope and watch how simplistic that fucking story is. It is farm boy goes off to save the princess and then has to beat the bad guy. That's it. They bring in Han, who's his the rogue with a heart, and there's not much to it. And then you get to The Force Awakens, and you have this weird story about a girl who can use the Force without ever being told about it. Oddly, because remember, they tell us that everybody thinks it's fake.
Yeah, the Force has to balance out the evil that exists by creating something super good, and so she just automatically just slips into that role because the Force wanted her to, and it's like,
yeah, she's hey.
That's not really what we fans have gotten from how the Force works for the past 30 years.
Oh my God! Did you see the rumors of what? Well, it's not even rumors. It's what Lucas said he wanted to do with the prequels or the sequels.
Oh yeah. He wanted them to like all shrink down into some micro universe and fight the Force's actual like living.
The midichlorians were actually going to be they were going to be things that fought. Like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah, so it's not like it would have been better with Lucas writing at the helm either. I mean, I'm sorry, I'm one of those people who think the prequels are shit too, and just because these movies are shit doesn't validate the prequels in my eyes. I mean, I'm sorry, I don't like any of the prequels either.
I will say the prequels are better than the new ones, but
Star Wars hasn't been good since 1989.
I was never a fan of Jedi. It's okay, but they set the bar way too high with Empire. Empire was so good. So good.
I liked Jedi because it was at least a coherent end to the Luke Skywalker arc.
I thought we had closure, but no.
I mean, sure, it had the Ewoks in it, and everybody was like, okay, those are just the merchandise opportunities there.
I love the Ewoks. Wicket was badass.
Sure, yeah. I it doesn't bother me at all. We got to see Slave Leia choke the shit out of a giant slug, and
damn it, Dangerous. Dangerous says, quote, "When I kiss you, Luke, it's like I'm kissing my brother. Stop it. You're going to get me in trouble. I know what you're doing there. Yeah. I know what you're doing." It's trying to get me in trouble with my I have this theory, Magog, that in Back to the Future, Marty would have at least fingered his mom.
Oh God, not this again.
Blame Dangerous. He brought it up.
Why would he do that?
Okay, follow me here, Magog.
No.
He's a young, horny boy.
So he knows it's his mom. Therefore,
but it's not his mom yet.
Yes, it is.
No.
Yes, it is. It will always be his mom.
This is 20 years before she becomes his mom.
By the very act of him disappearing in the photos and slowly disappearing on stage while playing the guitar proves that it's his mom. He knows in his head it's his mom.
But it's not his mom yet.
Yes, it is, because he's disappearing when she falls in love with him.
He didn't disappear when she stripped him naked when he was knocked out.
It was a slow change in order to build the movie.
He still could have fingered her, and she could have ended up with his dad.
Stop it.
You don't understand. Just because he's a horny teenager doesn't mean shit.
I think he would have at least slipped her a finger.
It doesn't fucking matter.
Plus, I think it's weird. I think it's wrong
because in his mind, it's his mom. In his mind, he sees his mom. Period.
This is why time travel stories are such a disaster. She doesn't
look anything like his mom. His mom's an old fat chick.
No, he knows.
Who wears polyester.
He knows it's her the moment he sees her.
No, okay. That's not the same.
Yes, it is.
I'm telling you, he'd have slipped her a finger.
Okay, let me ask you something. Would you do it?
Me? No, I'm not Marty.
Oh,
then what's your argument?
I'm saying he would have.
Why wouldn't you? Why would you think Marty would do it when you wouldn't do it?
Look, there's a guy who just.
Let's go back in time. Go back in time and bang your
time
fucking young mom. Go ahead.
Time out. Let me explain. From the great state of West Virginia, about a month ago, we got the article about a man who married his daughter, helped her kill somebody, and then had sex with her right after he did it. I wouldn't do that either.
Well, Marty wouldn't have done it either.
Well,
you say Marty wouldn't. I say he would have.
Why?
Oh my God.
What part of his character makes you think he would?
Because he's horny as hell, and his mom's
he
coming
isn't.
on to him.
He is not horny. He has a girlfriend at home. You dumb
He's horny.
shit.
Why did he want to borrow? Hang on. Why did he want to borrow the car?
To take his girlfriend out
To the
he
lake.
already has
To
a
the
girlfriend.
lake. They were going to the lake, and what were they going to be doing at
He
the lake?
wanted to bang his girlfriend, not
Differential
his mom.
equations.
Yeah,
I'm just telling you, he would have put a finger in there.
Wait, are you assuming that he would cheat on his girlfriend? What part
Yes.
of his character? What part of his character told you that?
What, that he would cheat on his girlfriend? He's a horny teen.
That doesn't fucking make sense. I was a horny teenager and I didn't cheat on my girlfriend. You fuck.
I was a horny teenager, and I did.
Ladies,
But that's you. Okay, so apparently Monkey would bang his own mom.
I would cheat on my girlfriend.
I'd like to interrupt for a public.
I wasn't
service
married.
announcement.
What's up?
This is an example of what happens when an individual is in a state called arrested development. Ranting
Are
Monkey.
you saying I'm
apparently-
arrested developed?
Yes, sir, I am.
How dare you, ma'am?
Well, the truth hurts.
Excuse me.
Don't it?
For the record, I didn't start this. Dangerous did.
Oh, yes. And once again, another sign of arrested development is going, ain't that my fault? He did it.
I feel like her being able to say it feels like kissing my brother means she's made out with her brother too.
Oh,
How's she know? Leia didn't know when she kissed her brother,
no,
although
God,
she
you were
says
right.
she
The
always did.
prequels pretty much suck too. I think what I'd like to point out to you two people is that I haven't wasted my money on a movie since the first prequel because I stood up, looked at my husband, and said, "Midichlorians, really? Okay, this
Oh
is
God!"
interesting." And then I said,
Run, Jesus,
"And
yeah.
we're doing the virgin birth." Joseph Campbell should never have taken the meeting with George Lucas. I'm done. Done. Do you hear me? Done. I am done. And I have never seen another Star Wars movie since then. And am a happier, better adjusted human being because of it.
I wanted my children to love Star Wars as much as I did, so I was the first person who bought a ticket to Phantom Menace, and I was the third person who was in the theater that day. And we came out of it like, oh God.
I wanted to love it. I wanted to because Empire was such a
I still went out and we did the same thing with the Attack of the Clones. When it came time for Rise of the Sith, or what was the third one called? Revenge of the Sith. Revenge of the Sith. I was like, nah, we'll watch it when it comes out on video because the first two were garbage. Now, I will say, one of my favorite lightsaber fights ever is Anakin and Obi-Wan. That was a great fight, and I know there's people who don't like it, but it was a great lightsaber fight.
No, it wasn't. They were hopping around on robots over lava and shit.
Yeah, that was fucking awesome.
You also believe Marty McFly would bang his mom, so shut up.
No, I said finger.
all finger. Bang. It doesn't matter. Bang is bang. Okay, finger bang his mom. Doesn't fucking matter. You believe that, so all your fucking thoughts on future movies, in my eyes, are invalid.
It's not
from
my
here
fault.
on out.
I'm willing to admit the truth. His mom plants up. Okay, why did he let his mom? Wait, hang on, time out. What would make you ask the question? What about his character?
It doesn't fucking matter. You're missing my point.
What about his character?
No, you're missing my point.
When she kisses him.
No, you're missing my point, Monkey. You're missing my point. If you watch Back to the Future,
yes,
and instantly think you should bang your mom,
I didn't say that.
Fucking derelict.
I didn't say.
If that's the thought in your head when you watch.
Okay, let me ask you this.
Back to the Future, you're a derelict. Okay, and you're invalid movie reference. Okay.
When she kissed him, did he kiss back?
No, he
did.
No, he was recoiled in fear. If you remember the scene,
his mouth open.
She forced her fucking tongue into his mouth. He was cowering in the fucking corner of the car with this horrid look on his face.
You ever had somebody's tongue in your mouth you didn't want in there?
Yes.
Yeah.
Then you're doing it wrong. Turn your face. Close your teeth.
You've never been okay? I guess you've never been surprise kissed. It can happen.
He wasn't surprised. Bitch was all up on his junk.
You're just misinterpreting the entire scene.
Oh,
No,
God.
no,
What-
I
what-
saw
He
what-
had
kissed
had
Marty McFly's mom would dry
Tongue-kissed
hump
his
her own
mom.
son. Is that what you're saying?
He tongue kissed his mom.
you have to understand that he was in that car because the plan was that he was going to sit with her and he was going to pretend to take advantage of her so that his dad could come out and save her from him.
And
he was
instead he
thankful.
put his tongue in her mouth.
No,
He
he was
lunged at
he
him.
was
Put his
thankful.
tongue in his
He
mouth.
was thankful when somebody pulled him out the car, but then he realized it was Biff and not it wasn't his dad, and that's when everything went wrong. So he knew he couldn't get out of the car. He knew he couldn't say no to her because this was part of the plan. But he cowered in fear in the corner of the fucking seat when she kissed him. Like he was horrified
Charlie-
and scarred for life.
Charlie
Okay.
says, I think the green guy on the screen is getting greener because he's pissed. By the way, that's Magog. He's a great guy. If you're not subscribed to his channel, make sure you do. He does really, really good content.
Do you know, on my deathbed, I am going to think back that there were at least 10 minutes of my precious life that were wasted listening to you talk about whether Marty would have fingered his fucking mother.
Can I
But look,
like,
usually
how-
I say blowjob. Would you feel better if I said
Can I-
you're
can
getting
I-
a blowjob from her?
can I
He's not afraid of putting stuff in her mouth, obviously.
After,
Thanks,
after the
Marty.
stream is over, when we're off air, can I get your like real name and address so that I like one day you're going to be on your deathbed and I'd like to just show up and be like, hey man, you know, you're surrounded by your loved ones, go into the light. By the way, Marty would have never banged his mom. Fuck you, you little derelict piece of shit.
Jaeger Pony, thank you so much. I take more impeachment talk over this. Oh, how dare you? This should be an argument on the House floor, is what I'm saying.
Much
Prospero
sense.
will outlive us all. That's probably true.
Out of spite. Out of pure
Out
spite.
of pure fucking hatred. And I have no like ultimate great love for the Back to the Future franchise. I love them. They're nostalgic to me. I grew up with them, but the first movie came out the year I was born, so it's not like I saw them when they first came out. I didn't see them until I was old enough and saw them on like tape. You know, that they were like recorded off of HBO. My mom would like record movies off of HBO.
Oh, sure, yeah.
And, you know,
Back
it's
in the
like,
day.
but still, it's something I grew up with, even though I didn't go to the theaters to see them. And I don't hate those movies at all. In fact, I love them. But this is just the worst conversation I've
Yes,
ever had.
it is,
about
because
time
horrible.
One of
Horrible.
us was an adult when they came out and saw them in the theater. And what you're saying happened, Monkey, didn't happen.
It did happen.
It was in your fucked up little
He
mind.
put his tongue in her mouth.
She
lunged at
lunged
him.
at him,
He didn't put his tongue in her mouth. She
flailing
put,
backwards to get away from her.
yeah,
He kissed his mom.
She kissed her son.
yeah.
And he kissed her back. Your boy Pat says, also subscribe to us. Psycho Rick, we need 28 more subs to reach 500 mark.
You're going to be telling the story of Ranting Monkey's mysterious death.
I want to get this out. This is for Pat. Yes, guys, if you haven't gone to his Psycho Rick channel, please do. He does amazing work over there. I love Pat anyway, but his Psycho Rick channel is fucking amazing. If you guys haven't checked it out, do so. He does documentary kind of things over there, and they're really fucking great. His one on Marilyn Monroe was awesome. Go
I
ahead.
need to see that. And I saw that he did Rebecca Schaefer, and good God, do I remember when that child was killed.
Oh, yeah. Dangerous says, I'm watching the scene right now. Marty is flailing to get away from her. Then when she moves back, he's frozen in shock.
Yep.
He's frozen because you're like, wait, I thought you were going to suck my dick. And she's like, it's like kissing my brother. And when I did that, I felt so dirty.
Ranting Monkey is not for children.
At this point, I think that Monkey is he's just sticking to this weird fucking fetish.
How dare you, sir?
Just to get a rise out of people.
How
So
dare you,
I'm
sir?
now going to ignore it from here
How
on out
very
because
dare you?
I don't think unless you if you don't get a rise, then you wouldn't be continuing talking about it. And so I'm done.
Look, this came up originally.
I'm done hulking out over it. It's just your mind is weird, and I've accepted it, Monkey. I've accepted.
Can we take a minute to appreciate how beautiful young Leah Thompson was? I know she was gorgeous, man. Look, if she wasn't my mom, I'd finger her. I just ordered my new costume, so I'll be on camera more starting at the beginning of the year. Oh, I didn't know you were doing costumes over there. Interesting. What costumes are you wearing, dude? But yeah, Psycho Rick, if you guys aren't subscribed, please do so. It's a really good channel.
You have a wrench, Pat, so you need to spam that link to the channel in the chat.
What else we got going on here? We're gonna have to wrap up soon, guys. We're at 2.5 hours. This one has gone by fast.
It has.
Only because you're
The last
derelict
15
ass.
minutes.
Look, I am not a derelict. I'm a degenerate. Thank you. I will.
Derelict.
I will thank you to use my proper
So how
pronouns.
about that John Brennan guy?
Oh, speaking of degenerates,
No kidding.
he's a degenerate with power,
He
or who
would
had
have
power.
murdered his mother.
This is really not going to work out for the Dems. I really don't see it working out. I mean, who do we got? I mean, let's say Trump is removed from office. Let's say on the off chance they somehow secure the votes in the Senate to remove him from office. He can never run again. They win. They have the ultimate win. They've got rid of the motherfucker. They got him out of office. And Pence takes his place as president for the last of the last year. The rally of the Republican base would be super significant.
And who does Pence pick for his VP? Huh? That would be the interesting thing.
He would only
Nikki Haley.
Yeah. But here's the other thing. Even if he's not removed from office and runs next year, who are the Democrats putting their money behind? Who they're putting their votes behind? I mean, Pence, really? Or not Pence, Biden? Biden, creepy Joe fucking Biden, who can't remember his fucking what state he's in. What was that one I just watched with he talking about like kids sitting on his lap playing with his leg hair?
And
Oh,
the
that's
roaches.
yeah.
What
And
was
it's
like?
like-
What did the
it's
roaches
like-
have to do with that?
And I'm like, what the fuck is this guy? Is he senile? Like, I don't.
I think he's sundowning. I really do. He shows signs of like a person with Alzheimer's.
Burn
That
yeah.
sundowning thing where they go along fine for part of the day and then it all falls apart.
All right.
These black children rub his blonde,
Excuse me.
the hair on his legs. It bleaches blonde in the summer, and they at the pool they'd like to rub it down and then watch it as the hairs rise up again. And then something about roaches, and then the
I'm trying to find the clip. I really am.
Creepy
Real quick.
part.
Thank you, James Colley, who says, "Is cereal soup? # more gas for the fire." Of course it is. How dare you? How dare you even ask? And I know we're supposed to. Somebody asked me to check the hashtag, and I might here in a second. But like I said, we're already at 2.5 hours. I want to find that clip so I can play it again because I fucking love it. It's awesome. But Magog, there was also another one that came out after the whole hair leg thing, where he's talking to what was it, a union, and he's talking about how they here's the original clip. This is the one we were just talking about. But he's talking some weird shit about a girl with a forklift bringing in carts. It's just the weirdest shit. And stacking,
sauce.
Yeah, tomatoes. Oh God, spaghetti sauce. Okay, let's share this because we haven't done it in a while, and it is awesome. Here's the Democrat frontrunner, you guys.
I saw that made me aware when I was in law school. Proudly for Holloway. Proudly for your dad. First African-American state senator in the state of Delaware. Everything about.
Watch for the weird hug here in a second.
And by the
Here
way,
goes.
I sit on the stand and it gets
sits
hot.
on the stand.
I got hairy legs that turn blonde in the sun. And the kids used to come up and reach in the pool and rub my leg down so it was straight, and then watch the hair come back up again. They'd look at it. So I learned about roaches. I learned about kids jumping on my lap. And I've loved kids jumping on my lap.
Oh, Joe.
Ugh.
Oh, Joe. And I learned about, what does learned about roaches have to do with that?
I have a feeling somebody was flaming a blunt.
Yeah, I think he was high is what he's telling us.
I don't.
Yeah.
That's the top pick for the Democratic Party for president.
He's their leader.
That's that. I don't want to hear anytime Trump puts his fucking foot in his mouth and people are like, "Did you hear what Trump said?" Yeah, but you're voting for that guy. Like, I don't want to fucking hear it. You crazy assholes.
Yeah, it's a candidate, Joe, is a walking advertisement for the 25th Amendment being applied for non-compos mentis.
And are we to assume that if they realize this and go, okay, Biden should just step down and let somebody else? What do we got? Who's the top three? Warren and Bernie. Bernie looks like he's about to croak.
He's already had a heart attack on the campaign trail.
He's already had to have heart stents put in, so that doesn't look good. Plus, it's going to be really hard to sell his brand of socialism, diet socialism on in the Rust Belt and in the Deep South. People don't like. He didn't do well in Florida for a reason. Cuban voters do not like the word socialism.
Not much.
Not big fans. It's what Warren. What? She's weak. She's spineless.
She has not stated a position yet that is coherent.
No.
She talks around every question she's given. She answers everything but what was asked.
I'm pretty sure that she would want to do a rain dance at her inauguration.
Yeah, well, the voices of her ancestors are apparently talking to her, because what she talks about once she's asked a question has nothing to do with it. And it's like, who's asking you the questions you're answering?
Look, even as old as Trump is, because he's old, I'm not going to take that back or deny that. But if you look at the top 3 Democrat contenders right now, you're basically voting for their VP.
Yes.
Yeah.
These are exceptionally old people.
And it's not just their age, it's how they act. Like Trump may be like 74, but he is spry, dude. Like he has so much fucking energy. He's inhuman how much fucking energy he has. He's the only one after 3 years, especially the shit he's put up with during his presidency in just 3 years. After 3 years, do you know what Obama looked like after 3 years? His hair was white. He looked like he'd been fucking like aged 10 years. Trump looks the same. I'm pretty sure Trump is completely like, I think he's like 20% Botox. Like his whole body. Like he's got like body fat and Botox.
And he's a good advertisement for clean living, because the man is not, his food choices may be not the best, but he is not a drinker, never has been.
He doesn't drink, he doesn't smoke, but he loves Coke and McDonald's. So I don't know if that's necessarily.
Now, wait. Coca-Cola, guys. Coca-Cola.
Yeah. No,
we got to be careful.
He's an abstinent individual in part because his late brother was not.
Sure. But I mean, that's something that speaks to one side of his character, but on the other side, he loves fast food and sodas, and that's not necessarily good for you either. I wouldn't say he's clean living. I'm just saying he doesn't like the typical vices like smoking and drinking, and that's fine. I'm happy with that, and that's probably part of the reason. Another part of the reason he's lived so long and has so much energy is probably because, like, I don't know if you've heard this, but money, like having lots of money, gives you like a speed boost in life. And also having supermodels like suck your dick all the time, like just makes you live longer.
Think of how long Marty would have lived. James Colley, thank you, who says Trump equals big dick energy. One thing we've talked about on our show several times, Magog, also is that this is how Trump lives his life all the time. Before he got into the spotlight for the campaign, Trump never stopped moving. He wakes up in the morning. He is a businessman from morning till night.
I don't even think he sleeps.
Right, exactly. Where like somebody like Biden has been off the campaign trail for at least 4 years, at least.
Yeah.
And more likely 6 since the death of Bo.
A little known story. I've only told this once or twice live on air, but I've met Joe Biden.
Have you? Yeah,
I met George W. Bush when Air Force One landed in Mildenhall, and we all got out and lined up because he got off the plane to meet us. Well, when Air Force One landed in Mildenhall to refuel because it was on its way down to the Middle East with Obama on board, Obama wouldn't get off the plane. Apparently, he was too busy to meet the troops. But Biden was with him because they were doing something down in Iraq or whatever. And they stopped for refuel. and Biden got off the plane, and I had to walk Biden because they were like, they weren't just refueling, they were trading. Like Biden was flying with Obama until Mildenhall, and then Biden was supposed to get on a C-17 to go downrange, and Obama was going somewhere else on Air Force One. So Biden had to get off the plane to get on a C-17, a secure C-17. And so I basically, as vehicle operations, I was chosen because I was one of the best DV drivers in my shop. I was chosen to drive the black car in case he wanted to ride to the next plane. And it was in the hard stand right behind Air Force One. So I was there just in case Biden wanted to get in the car and drive to the plane that he was getting on, the C-17. And so he decided to walk instead. And he was out there and he mingled with people. I sat in the black car, and then the Secret Service guy come over to me and said, okay, Vice President Biden is actually going to walk to the plane because it's in the next hard stand. It's like 200 feet away, right? So I was like, okay. So I parked the car. He doesn't want to ride to the next plane. He doesn't want to ride to the C-17. So I parked the car, got out, and he came over, and Secret Service was like, yeah, why don't you walk with us? And I was like, cool. And he talked to me for about 2 minutes. What was really weird is that he had a football with him. He had a football, and he was like tossing it to the troops, and they toss it back kind of like a hand toss thing, not really like throwing it. It was like underhanded. And he was just like talking football. He was trying to be like one of the cool guys, like
Lunchpail Joe from Scranton.
Yeah. And then like when he walked away, I was with him because I was in the black car. And when he walked away from the group of troops that met him, and everybody was like, waving at him goodbye and everything as he got on the C-17, he was just like, here, take this. And he just like gave the Secret Service guy the football, almost like it didn't matter. It was all part of the show. He was just like, He just gave the football to the Secret Service guy, which is like, where's my plate? Over here, sir. And he was just like, how you doing, Evan? And I was like, hey, how you doing, sir? And that was it. But I got the feeling that it was all fake. The whole football thing was just I'm one of the cool guys, I'm one of the cool guys, toss a football to the troops. And then as soon as he walked away from the big group of troops, he was just like, meh, take this football.
He's a politician, so that does not surprise me at all. But guys, we do need to wrap this up. We're at 2:47, and I need to go lay down for a bit. I'm feeling it, you guys. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for coming and hanging out. I'm so sorry I missed yesterday, and I appreciate everybody's concern. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much for the donations. It really does help, and I love you guys sincerely. Prospero, is there anything you want to shill today?
Stargazer was kind enough to shill Minions in the chat for me, but you can find me on Minions of the Zoo. Varying nights I host on Thursday nights. It's the name of the channel, Minions of the Zoo. And we start at 11:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every evening.
Alrighty.
7 days a week.
And Magog, anything you want to shill today?
Nope. I'm pretty sure that most people watching now just enjoy my antics over on my main channel, so you guys can find me there. I'm pretty easy to find. I'm the only Magog on YouTube. So, but if you want to check out my stuff, go ahead. If not, no problem. But appreciate you having me on, Monkey. It's always fun to talk.
Oh, I always enjoy it. What is tonight? Tonight's Thursday.
Derelict.
Degenerate, thank you. I'm honest to God not sure what channel we're going to be on tonight. Probably mine, since Satsu stepped in for me last night. But watch for Lords of the Night. It's 9 p.m. Eastern. You know it's going to be on one of our channels. Watch Twitter. I always tweet it out. This is Thursday, so there's no game stream afterwards. I may do one, depending on how I feel. I may do one in a few hours after I go lay down for a bit and see.
And thank you for having me on, too. I forgot my manners. I'm
always a pleasure.
Bad daughter.
Oh, you stop it. You don't have to be like that. We're family around here. You don't have to be like that.
I'll probably I'll probably hop in the Discord for a little bit if any of my fans are watching and are part of the SideQuest Discord. I'll probably be over there in Hollow Runes. So.
All right. Chat, thanks for coming. Magog, Prospero. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Everyone, have a wonderful day. We'll see you next time.
Peace out.
Night.
It's time for me to go, so I'm going to